This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Life is unpredictable. Good times and bad times can come out of nowhere and take you by surprise. Going to therapy and learning how to manage your thoughts is like a secret weapon that prepares you for any challenge. Try it out at betterhelp.com/allies.
Hello, welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'm Daniel Bloodworth, coming from cold and rainy Los Angeles, California this weekend. Joining me this week, we've got Michael Huber.
Yo.
And Michael Damiani.
Lewis! Krauser! Yeah.
It's been a fun day. In the control room, making it all happen, we got Don Casanova.
Hello, hello, hello.
And Gabby Montoot's back there, keeping an eye on us. Friends, we're here to talk about the biggest headlines in video games this week. We finally got a solid look at gameplay for Suicide Squad. And yeah, that's a video game. This week's State of Play had a couple other goodies in store. Xbox is making big promises. And Don has a special report coming up on Super Nintendo World. But before we get started, we must answer for the mistakes we made on last week's episode. Don, begin corrections music, please.
Boop.
Huber.
Yo.
When I mentioned sleeping dogs,
Yeah?
you responded 10 points for Bloodworth.
Yeah.
However, on Mysterious Monsters, you give out gold, not points.
Yeah, but this was not Mysterious Monsters. That's a horrible change, right? That's a horrible correction. Correct yourself. Does this look like Mysterious Monsters?
Correction, rejection.
Yeah, rejection. Next.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Damiani, this is a weird one, but okay. So apparently the Super Bowl beer commercial that you were talking about had Miller Lite versus Coors Light.
Yeah.
And it ended by saying that it was actually an ad for Blue Moon.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Heineken.
However, all of them are under the same parent company.
That's how they're able to do it. Okay, we were curious. Yeah, we were just like,
correction.
yeah, that was a good one. It was just funny that they were like doing that. Yeah.
Hey, Mysterious Monsters shout out. I love you.
When I was describing the Virtua Fighter character in Error Game Reset, I mentioned a boa-like garment that seemed to be floating around here. It seems that is most likely a hagamono, which is a type of scarf associated with heavenly beings, and is thought to float in part due to their divine energy. And it's apparently like overused on all kinds of different characters and stuff. It shows up in character art a lot. Also, not a correction. However, in relation to Error Game Reset, a few people brought up a game called Sega Gaga. I don't know if you're familiar with.
No.
Okay.
Definitely not.
This game came out in 2001 on Dreamcast, only in Japan.
Oh.
So, in that game, you had to battle Sega characters as well as some Sega employees in order to help a struggling Sega stand up against the dominant Dogma Corporation, which owns 97% of the console market.
What in the world?
So it seems now the tables have turned. But hang on, I have to read a little bit more of this Wikipedia entry because this gets even nutsier, whatever. Development was directed by Tez Okano, who developed the game in secret for 2 years before presenting it to Sega. The company misconstrued the game as a joke at first and dismissed it. However, second presentation impressed them and allowed development to continue. Okano marketed the game himself with a small budget of $200.
Oh my gosh.
Half of which he spent on a wrestling mask to promote the game.
That is a hell of a story.
There's a lot more in there.
Wow.
One other tidbit I want to put in there. You actually like fight. Yeah. Unlike other role-playing games, Taro attacks by shouting verbal abuses and insults, such as telling them that their game is terrible or they will never get a girlfriend.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Unhinged.
Yep.
So I can now understand why Error Game Reset has reminded people of
funny.
that game.
That's very funny.
Yeah. If you have a correction, leave it in the YouTube comments on either the public version or the Patreon version of this episode. Start with the word correction and leave a timestamp for the part of the video that you're correcting so that I know what we were talking about. End corrections music.
Boop.
All right. First off, Don, you can play whatever you want from this if you've got it for the live chat. But yeah, we've got a lot of footage of Suicide Squad. They had a gameplay showcase where they showed a mission with rescuing Lex Luthor, who had been kidnapped by the Flash. I went back. I couldn't rank it out. Like, it was just too fast for me to process, obviously, because it's the Flash. But the beginning of this thing, you remember when you see Lex kind of like float up in like the Iron Man suit thing?
Yeah. He's got his suit.
Yeah. So what happens there, right before the logo pops up, Flash just flies in and rips him out of the suit.
It's hilarious.
Then the suit just keeps spinning without Lex in it.
That's funny.
So we got this gameplay showcase.
Yeah.
We see the game for the first time, and then they had a quote-unquote behind-the-scenes video with the devs talking through various gameplay elements. And not really what we were hoping for. We got a lot of a lot of hints that this is where it was going to be headed.
Yeah.
But maybe not what we want.
A lot of red flags.
Yeah.
A lot of red flags. And I'm obviously not going to write it off because of Rocksteady's pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've made phenomenal video games. It's been 8 years since Arkham Knight, though, so this has been a long time coming. I know Batman Arkham VR came out a year later from Arkham Knight. But there's just a lot of red flags. One of the biggest ones is when you're playing this game solo, there's bots.
Right.
There's bots. That always really bugs me. That to me means this is a 4-player video game. In my weird reality, it's 4 players only. You know what I mean? Like, this game is designed to have 4 human players in this game. Anytime you're joined by bots, it just like loses something, you know? It just doesn't feel as good there. We just learned that it needs an internet connection, always online.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Even if you are playing single player, you can be
always
online.
More criticisms is that everyone is using guns and flying around. It looks really similar. It's hard from this gameplay showcase to differentiate what makes each Suicide Squad member unique and special.
Well, King Shark does this kind of like flappy thing.
I mean, everyone has their like ultimates, right? Like Deadshot has a jetpack, whereas Harley has like a grapple hook, but it still looks so similar. King Shark is using a minigun, and then another shot, Harley Quinn is using a minigun. It did eventually show some melee combat, but there was a huge emphasis on just shooting purple monsters. The enemies don't look interesting.
Well, the tanks and stuff, they all get like the purple, some kind of purple infection, so you hit the big purple weak spots.
Yeah. Rocksteady is known for their world building and their environment, and I got no sense of Metropolis from this demo. I mean, this was all combat focused.
Right.
But like, will the game slow down? Will there be moments where you can just cruise around and like explore the areas? I don't know. There's still a lot to be seen, but this specific slice of gameplay has me really worried. Also, there's some screenshots going around of the loot, and I just wanted to bring one of these up. Harley Quinn here has a hammer. Are you ready for all these numbers?
Oh yeah.
Would you like when numbers go up?
This is actually in the BTS for you.
Damage 3,486 to 3,820. Shield harvest damage bonus 551%. Combo strike damage bonus, 90%. Suicide strike damage, 16,626. Suicide strike resource gain, 93%. This is one item, by the way, still going. 11% melee damage to grunt enemies. 31% melee damage on shield harvestable enemies. 2% shield regenerated on melee hit. Every melee hit is a strong strike, and strong strikes send brute enemies flying. Venom Frenzy. That's one piece of gear in this game.
Yeah, that's a hammer.
I like timing and context are so important. And if this game had come out 2 or 3 years ago, I'd be a little more optimistic. But now coming in at the tail end of live service, games as a service, so many of those games have shut down. I feel like the bubble has burst mainly. Like, obviously, they're still going to make these types of games, but I feel like the public perception and the public desire for these types of games has fallen off dramatically in the last couple years.
What's interesting when you say that is, they have talked about that they will be adding free content to the game afterwards.
Yeah.
There's also a battle pass that's only for cosmetics.
Cosmetics only, thankfully. Yes.
But otherwise, it doesn't have too much of like as a service, like in terms of what you're talking about. I am curious what they're going to be doing because they even talk about like earnable characters and that kind of thing. So they're going to have other characters that come in. And I'm curious.
Yeah.
Would the Justice League characters or anyone be a part of that, or like
I don't know.
Other offshoots of the Suicide Squad from the comics or the movies going to be in there?
We still don't know if we're going to get to play as any of the Justice League.
Right.
Like, that's always a big thing. It's like, we're going to get to play as Wonder Woman, or going to get to play as Batman in some scenes. Who knows?
Yeah, but in terms of like what you were talking about, like what they define that as is your gear score, and your gear score is kind of like, rather than your character leveling up, it's like the combination of what all gear that you have. Yeah. And so that's sort of what determines what missions that you're ready for, you know? Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay, that's like a level 50 mission and I'm at like a level 46, maybe I could take that on, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's one of the primary reasons like I'm turned off from this. Besides being surprised at how much this is relying on gunplay.
So many guns.
I know you were very disappointed here, but you pointed out very nicely that they all have unique like ultimate abilities and unique traversal mechanics, but the core minute-to-minute combat comes down to 6 different weapons that are like normal-looking weapons, like shotgun, machine gun. It's like, okay, pistol. Like, there's nothing really special about that, despite all the customization. So not having just being so reliant on that, and then going into this really heavy focus on gear level and leaning into the RPG elements with all these stats and numbers and percentages. This is just as far away from what I want out of this game, or what I like. It could have been fine being like a 4-player game and not having solo, but like this gear progression, I'm just not looking for another game that does it right now, especially for something like this.
Yeah, I agree. Coming off of Avengers and Gotham Knights, like we just did this. I played both of those games extensively, and that's the thing is like I have a good time with it. Like I enjoyed my time with Avengers, I enjoyed Gotham Knights, but like they're disposable, which is fine for a lot of games. Like you can have your hardcore investment Elden Ring games, and then you have your disposable games that you just play for fun, have a good time, whatever. But like, it's all about legacy. It's all about how long we've been waiting. It's all about the budget and everything about this game. It should be held to a higher standard because of everything it has going for it. This is not just some indie game. This is a follow-up to one of the greatest franchises in modern gaming history, and it's from a huge studio, Rocksteady, with WB's backing. So, expectations are higher, and my criticisms will come off a little harsher.
Yeah. How much though do you think that you're out because of Gotham Knights in terms of the numbers and all that stuff versus Gotham Knights just not feeling that fun to play? Like, do you think like this, despite the fact that like, okay, this is a bunch of shooting and Anthem, like here's the thing, because the things I remember that this reminds me of are Anthem and Borderlands, right? And
Borderlands, dude.
And both of those games are fun.
Yeah.
And I think, especially like when you first start out in Anthem, like we were having a blast.
Yeah.
But it was just like the repetition of it, the lack of variety in it. And so like looking at one mission is like, you feel like, oh, I can imagine this is just going to be the same thing over and over again.
It's concerning.
But, you know, it's still in this position of like, well, we still have seen one mission.
True.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, some of the best parts about Batman were having combat encounters, traversal moments, pacing, right? You're just exploring, and then these stealth predator missions. That balance was so nice. It was like, okay, I'm going to go in, fight 20 dudes, then we're going to slow it down, and we're going to sneak in here and take people out. Again, we've only seen this one clip.
Yeah.
But there was not a lot of variety in this clip, not only in what each individual character was doing, but to set them apart from each other as well. It just looked so similar. Yeah. And why does Lex Luthor look like Punisher, dude?
There's something about his jacket,
Yeah.
I was trying to figure that out too. That was tripping me out.
One of the things that they did say though in the dev diary section of it was that that they said that they have designed encounters to where like you need to use a combination of your guns and your traversal abilities and your melee stuff.
Yeah.
And like they were saying specifically like King Shark has like the fastest melee or something like that.
Okay.
But
we did see a little melee at the end. It was really weird that they kind of brushed over it.
But like you're saying, like even your melee weapons, it's just like a collect-a-thon sort of thing. It's like, okay, for Harley, I've seen the hammer, I've seen a cricket bat, I've seen a baseball bat. For King Shark, I've seen both like these big like knives as well as like these sickle things.
Yeah. Help me out here, okay? Because this is my perception. Let me know if I'm wrong. In games like this, when there's loot, that is the focus of the entire game. Like, they can pretend that, story, all that, whatever, is like the highlight. But I feel like every time I play a game like this, Avengers, Gotham Knights, Destiny, whatever, the loot is like the focus of the game. It's the main, like, I don't want to be worried about that stuff when I play this. Like, I just want to chill out in Metropolis and like experience a really potentially awesome story, dude. Brainiac brainwashing everyone and forcing you to kill the Justice League. Like, that premise is so awesome.
This is definitely like, despite everything, I'm really getting the vibes of like, I'd really like to watch this game's cutscenes.
Yeah, exactly. Like if anyone gets DC, it's Rocksteady. But it just feels like the loot is always the focus. It's always in the way. It's like, okay, let's just run through this mission so I can get a better gun.
Right.
Whereas like, again, I know these are not the Arkham games, but it's like, dude, anytime you do a mission in Arkham, it's about Batman going in, trying to stop someone. It's grounded. You're in the universe. It's immersive. Nothing about this seemed immersive whatsoever.
Yeah, that's the thing. You were pointing out during our reactions that your biggest question is about how exploration is going to feel.
Yeah.
If there is even going to be some of that, because Rocksteady makes great environments.
Yeah. Gotham, dude, now Metropolis.
And I know this was a slice because this is a mission, but this mission just looked hectic. Didn't look like you're like going to spend any downtime. It's like all fighting. So I want to know if there are parts where like the city is just like, maybe there's a random like group of enemies here and there, but I don't want like it to be like in constant chaos where you just, anytime you're going across, you're fighting stuff. Like there's always stuff to like constantly fight. None of those more immersive moments, stuff like that.
Yeah, because it looked like the map was like really destroyed too. So maybe that's like later in the game. Maybe early on you do go and maybe you can like talk to civilians. Maybe they're roaming around. I don't know.
Civilians is definitely a thing that I've not seen any evidence of.
Yeah.
And they made a point of talking about Metropolis,
Yeah.
It's a different place. It's a city of tomorrow. It's, it's bright. It's clean.
Yeah.
They actually like Superman there, and aside from, these scenes taking place in daylight, there's not really a whole lot that makes it feel that different in terms of, like you're saying, like there's just being enemies stationed up all around the map and that kind of thing with Brainiac invading. They like you're saying, they talk a lot about the different gun types and stuff like that. They've got like these Borderlands style manufacturers. There's
I
like
love the Borderland comparisons.
LexCorp has
like
guns,
a subtle
GCPD
slight.
guns. There's another one in there that I didn't catch what they said, but you know,
There was like Luther
Yeah.
Tech.
yeah.
Probably
And they're
Wayne Tech in there.
and then
one
they're
would
also talking
imagine.
about these gear sets, and the one example they showed was Bane. And so like with this
Yeah.
Bane gear set, then like there's like just all this like poison smoke or whatever, and there's like green skulls floating over enemies' heads, and I'm not exactly sure what it does. But again, it's like what Damiani's talking about. It's like, you know, and like you're talking about with like all the numbers, it's like, oh, more and more like effects and things to put on to everything that you're doing in different levels.
Yeah. And like I'm down for that stuff usually. It's just again, it has to do with context and timing.
Yeah.
What this game, you know, the fact that this is in the Arkham universe, the fact that we've had so many of these games.
Yeah. And they do talk about your support squad. Penguin is back.
Penguin, he's got the bottle in his eyes.
Yep.
Love that continuity.
But he's the arms dealer.
Awesome.
And then Hack, who they described as a digital ghost.
Cool.
Who helps you navigate the world, but also upgrades their neck bombs. I didn't understand that statement.
Well, I know.
Why would your neck bombs get upgraded?
Yeah, why would we upgrade them? That is weird.
Yeah.
Because we know Amanda Waller like puts it on the task force to, you know, in case they go rogue or something. But yeah, what the heck? I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. Toyman.
Toyman hype.
They showed a shot where they got like a little like toy like Superman like truck, I guess you would describe it. And then it turned into like a full size vehicle.
Some PIM particles there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Gizmo.
Old man Gizmo.
Insane vehicle creations to blow stuff up. So I don't know exactly what that mean. What the difference is there between Toyman and Gizmo?
Yeah.
Exactly what they do.
So we're gonna wait. Do you think we're gonna like drive anything in this?
It sounds like it. Sounds like you get some kind of
Motorcycles or-
vehicles.
They said, they showed
Yeah.
it. I mean, they were
Okay.
Yeah.
definitely alluding
yeah.
to it, I think.
Yeah.
2023, the year of vehicle creation.
I know. What is going on?
I also think from the way that things are sort of cut and shown off in this, it feels like there's 4 of you and there's 4 of them. So the Justice League is basically Superman, Green Lantern,
Flash,
and
and
Batman.
Good call.
Yeah.
And then Wonder Woman's the wild card.
Yeah, because we saw that she's not
Yeah.
infected. Yeah.
Yeah. Love that.
So 4v4 game.
That was a great moment too. See, Rocksteady knows, dude. They know how to do it. That moment where Wonder Woman like puts the lasso on Flash, like, how do we stop you? And he's like, dude,
Yeah.
you gotta kill us. Like that shit is sick. It's just all these numbers and co-ops and online and battle passes are like getting in the way of that. So
And I meant
fingers are like crossed so hard, my fingers are gonna bleed on this game. So let's hope.
yeah, one of the things I said between shoots though, and I think I wanted to bring up again is like the thing about it that feels weird is the Arkham games were about be the Batman.
Yeah.
And like every level
So immersive.
investigating and the gadgets and how you acquire them and how you use them and the stealth areas and all of that stuff was all just to like give you this like Batman experience.
Yep.
And like you're saying, like with these characters, it's like, do I feel like I'm being Harley Quinn when I'm grappling all over the place and like doing this like power dive? Like that just doesn't seem
I know. Does
like
she have like superpowers in this?
like it doesn't seem like something she would do. Does
Yeah.
it feel like King Shark should have a minigun? I don't know. Like
Yeah.
Deadshot seems fine, I guess.
Deadshot seems cool. Yeah, Deadshot seemed on point. You know.
Obvious.
Yeah. Deadshot seemed cool, flying around like, someone who favors guns. It makes sense.
Oh, there is a good freeze
So-
frame moment when when they're talking about Captain Boomerang using the whatever device to like teleport.
Yeah, yeah.
So when he picks that up off the wall, that wall is just full of like Rogue's gallery of devices.
Nice.
Like Nightwing's sticks are in
I'll
there.
have to take a
Riddler's
look at
hat
that.
is in
I'll have to
there.
take a
Yeah,
look.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw a Riddler question mark on the ground at one point.
Yeah, I was wondering about
Yeah,
that too.
yeah.
It's like, it's got to be Riddler, right?
Yeah,
Why is
yeah.
that there?
Again, I've said it a couple times how context and timing and is everything, and it's like this franchise, this studio changed the industry. It changed superhero video games forever. It innovated an entire like subgenre. They were industry leaders. And then, Insomniac passed the torch with Spider-Man, similar vibe, right? Spider-Man feels like, Arkham, same level of quality. But then now it feels like they're chasing trends.
Right.
Instead of leading the industry. So that's another huge point of disappointment.
Yeah. Well, and I wonder too. Well, I don't know, because I don't feel like the franchise is really hurting it, but it also seems weird because I feel like in the time that it's taken them from announcing this game to releasing this game,
Long time.
we've gotten like both of those Suicide Squad movies, and like people are like, okay, yeah, I get the concept, and I guess killing the Justice League is still kind of a big crazy thing. People are going to want to see how that resolves and wraps up and everything. But
Kevin Conroy, of course. I mean, again, the stakes are so high, though. Like, I said it on stream. It's like, dude, I'm always happy to be swimming in sevens. But if I'm swimming in sevens here, that's a disappointment.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other thoughts before we get into the rest of this state of play?
Excited to crack it open and hopefully play with Brandon Jones as well.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
We'll see. Stay tuned for a lot of coverage on that game, dude. We'll stream it and stuff.
Yeah. So the rest of this show, Suicide Squad was the focus. It was a big 15 minutes at the end of it. But we got some other things in there. They started off with 5 PSVR 2 games, Foglands, which is this kind of creepy thing with tarot cards and stuff. Yeah,
that's my vibe. That's my speed for sure. Some roguelite shooter with cards. It looked like I liked the lead guy's look. Yeah. He looked cool.
There's Green Hell is coming to VR, so you got the survival game in there.
Yeah, Don pulled that one.
Yeah, Don hype.
I saw the animation. It's a Jaguar that was jumping out of the foliage. I said, you know what? That's Green Hell.
Green Hell.
Synapse, which is a black and white cover shooter that also uses telekinesis.
The movement in this looked really good.
Yeah.
I was kind of impressed with this. It looked cool. The movement looked better in this than Foglands. Foglands looked like more my vibe, but I was really impressed with the way this moved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Journey to the Foundation, which is that Isaac Asimov game.
Yeah.
So not really sure I get what it's all about, but
good timing because
getting into sci-fi stuff. Yeah,
the show came out a little while ago, so
yeah,
if you watch the show or read those books, that's cool.
And then the Before Your Eyes VR version.
Yeah.
So
bring the tissues.
If you want to cry in your headset.
Yeah, careful. Viewer discretion is advised for tears.
Intense.
Yeah.
We got a little cinematic launch trailer for Destiny 2 Lightfall.
Yep.
With our,
I have no idea what's going on.
Don't ask me for a recap.
Smoke-headed guy. They
cool.
said the Traveler has nowhere left to run.
Dude, the Traveler shoots some energy beam in this. Like, dude, you could do that the whole time, Traveler?
Yeah,
what the hell?
What was it waiting on?
Dude, yeah. Like, the last ditch effort, the last impossible moment, the Traveler does it. Yeah.
Chio was in there. It got a release date March 21st.
Hell yeah.
I've played that. We've talked about it a couple of times. So go and check out my latest preview to get an idea what that game's all about. Got some Breath of the Wild and Wind Waker vibes both in there.
Yep. Possessing animals. So like that, or like Odyssey,
Mario
maybe.
Odyssey and Wind Waker combined.
Yeah, it's taking the best.
Sick.
Taking the best.
Sick.
Just jolly, relaxing game.
Yeah, that looks, dude, like maximum hype for that blood. Holy crap. I'm so bummed for that game.
They took a second to talk about the PlayStation Plus games for next month, which was a little funny.
Sure.
Yeah. Remind you exists.
Yeah.
Shove that in there.
Yeah.
The next one, though, we'll roll this. Humanity. This crazy game.
Yangus.
So apparently this was teased back in 2019.
Whoa.
Yeah, I thought we saw I swear the logo was shown before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was just insane.
So this is from Enhance, which is Tetsuya Mitsuguchi's company, the brains behind Tetris Effect and Rez.
Yep.
And in this game, which, if you're on video, watch it because it's going to be hard to describe. But basically,
really
you
seen
play
anything like
as
it.
like a little glowing Shiba Inu dog, leading crowds of people through all of these obstacle courses. And sometimes you've got fans blowing people over. Sometimes you've got like guards hanging around. You've got to like launch people through the air.
I want to play with Isla.
Yeah.
I'll watch Isla play.
There are these giants that are in the mix
And it
too.
changed color at one point too, from gold to like silver or something.
Yeah,
So
well, there's this one
there's
where
some
they've got
crazy
like
stuff going
black
on.
and white guards.
Then there's like a Jedi battle. Dude, Jedi versus Sith.
Yeah.
It's like all these people with like weird lightsabers.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes there's like these giant masses, like these balls of people in the sky. It's so crazy.
Yeah, it just goes some really insane
Yeah.
places where you think you sort of know what's going on, and you see some stuff, and you're like, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, what is even happening? Oh, and
Yeah.
then you can create.
Yeah, and then on top of that, there's a level designer that's in there too. And
Don's Design Lab.
there is a demo, so you can check that out. The demo does include some of the creation tools as well. The demo's got 10 levels, and the full game's got 90 levels.
Wow.
And then you can get that demo out until March 6th. There's also going to be optional VR modes for both PSVR and PSVR 2.
Nice.
So crazy, wild, little
Weird.
puzzle game.
Yeah.
Weird looking game.
Very
All about it.
There was a
Try
whole
out.
bunch of
Yeah.
there's a crowd of people that were like forming into the body of a larger person in one shot. Yeah.
I love
cool
like
looking.
I love a video game where it's like, yo, only in video games. Like I don't think they could make this a movie. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like
Right.
this is like what are we even looking at?
Yeah, and it's coming out in May, final game. Goodbye Volcano High.
Yes.
Had a little update.
I'm excited about this. This will be a Huber late night stream for sure. Full playthrough in the late evening hours. 100% excited about this. Chat was saying maybe someone was saying that they like rewrote the whole thing. Or
Oh, really?
that it's
wow.
like taken a while. Like
Crazy.
I thought I had missed it or something. I was like, oh, is this a re-release? Like, didn't this already come out? And it's like, no, it's not even out yet. So,
Crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, them rewriting it is
Which is what someone in
Yeah.
chat said. Could be less. Who knows?
Got it.
Yeah. But chat is always right. So.
Naruto Cross Boruto Ultima Ninja
So-
Storm Connections.
It's like a little bit, like, it's Naruto, so we're a little bit high.
Yeah.
And as we've learned a little bit more about it, it's like
Yeah.
kind of like tempered a little bit.
Right.
It's,
Yeah.
It's like, it's not even a it's not even like all the previous games strung together. It's just like,
Yeah, so this is like a mishmash of all of them. They're saying it's a one of a kind
yeah.
collection, bringing together key moments from the Ultimate Ninja
To
Storm
tell a
series.
new story,
Yeah,
right?
It's,
There is a new story in the game in addition to the main. So you recap the main points. They say they focus mostly on key gameplay moments from the series that highlight select scenes from Naruto and Sasuke's deeply emotional story arcs. And then, in addition to this, an original story will also be available in the game. It's coming out to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the anime.
yeah.
And
Nice.
it's on like everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, Steam,
Yep.
and last gen.
Cool.
Jeez, 20
I love
years.
that we are getting solid, I say solid, Naruto, Dragon Ball, and One Piece video games.
Yeah.
Even that Demon Slayer game was pretty sick. Keep them coming. Keep the anime games coming.
Nice.
Yeah.
We got a new trailer for Baldur's Gate 3, and I was skeptical, but Huber, you nailed it. Features the voice of J.K. Simmons.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Simmons, dude. I think someone in chat said it. We might have said it at the same time.
Yeah. So he plays General Ketheric Thorm,
Yeah.
a
dude.
seemingly invincible necromancer,
Sick.
leading an army of the dead towards the eponymous city of Baldur's Gate.
Unreal. Goaty Watch 2023, 94 on Metacritic incoming. I promise. This game is going to be
Just-
top tier. And what excites me, I didn't even know this was a thing. Maybe they had announced this a while ago. Split screen co-op.
I think they might have just announced that today.
That is
because they're showing the PS5 version, which I think is the first time they've shown the PS5
Yeah.
version.
Cool.
And so you have split screen co-op, and
Dude.
then online you have 4-player.
I want to do a co-op playthrough of this game so badly. They're like, something is just screaming in my head to play this whole thing co-op. It just seems perfect for it.
Yeah. They were also teasing. They have other actors that they haven't revealed yet for more villains
Vin Diesel?
coming up. Vin Diesel is one of these villains. I don't know. Well,
Definitely appreciate the camera work in this game, giving me the option to zoom out, zoom in, rotate. Like, yeah, that's like, and then them showing it in gameplay.
Yeah.
That makes, big deal to someone like me.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Damiani. We got to play this, dude.
Dude, like,
We got to do it. It's going to be
just
100 hours
to see
long.
that split screen. Yeah,
I know.
We got to see it.
Because there was this game. What is it called? Like, move on.
talking about Divinity or
No. Outward.
Oh, okay.
I always want to play Outward. It's like a 2-player split screen kind of survival, not JRPG, survival RPG.
Okay,
Not like lower budget.
gotcha.
But like I like the idea of like a really huge world, long game co-op. Something about that. Because I just don't do that very often,
Yeah. No, I mean, this is probably a 100-hour game.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time I went through that long of a game in co-op. Like, so it's exciting.
They announced the controller support as well, because I think it's only been mouse and keyboard on early access.
They know what they're doing.
Speaking of Damiani here, this is
They're
great.
like, what's up? Gotta get you that
controls,
controller. Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
August 31st for that. Wayfinder, got a little bit of a look at.
Oh, yeah.
It's online multiplayer.
You're saying it need to be out today, otherwise to have a chance.
Yeah,
but the
it
beta's
was
in
like
a week.
alarming frame rate.
Yeah. Like nice looking talons, but
Yeah.
otherwise just hard to distinguish it from other types of games at the moment. Like maybe not the best time to be coming out. Period.
Even like it's so different, but even something like Wild Hearts, like is kind of, it feels like they're kind of competing in a little bit, kind of.
Yeah.
But then the last two big boys, Street Fighter 6 showed off the last 3 characters from the launch roster.
Someone on Twitter posted, I didn't know this because Mortal Kombat's my jam, but that move Cammy did is directly from the anime.
Oh.
Where she stands on the head and does the spin and then like takes out the legs. Identical in the anime.
Sick.
Yeah, it's a nod.
Nice.
It is a nod.
Yeah, so we got Cammy, we got Zangief.
Yeah.
Looking great.
He looks so good.
All the character designs in this game are excellent.
Yeah. Dude, and Lily looks
Newcomer,
sick.
Yeah, so Lily's a newcomer. So they say Lily will seem familiar to some as she is a descendant of the Thunderfoot tribe, the same tribe as the iconic T-Hawk.
Yeah.
I love it.
Dope.
New generation right there.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Is T-Hawk in it?
I don't think so, but
Maybe a side
probably in
character.
like
He's gonna
her
rear his
stage or something.
head.
Yeah. He'll
How
be in
cool-
the story and then like DLC character later.
I was hoping he might be like an assist, like some special assist or something.
Dawn. We need some mechanics here.
Yeah.
We don't know about yet.
Hell yeah. Dawn's ready.
And then they identified her weapons as war clubs.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
This looks sick.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then we'll roll this. Huber, Resident Evil 4. Got another. Some really late game stuff in there.
So much in
Yeah.
this, man.
I want Damiani to take point on this, dude.
There's just so much. While it's getting ready,
Yeah.
do want to also give shout out because Capcom Cup happened recently that ended, and the announcement doubling down the faith that Capcom has in Street Fighter 6 by announcing a total $2 million prize pool, but first place winner at next year's Capcom Cup getting $1 million.
Is that the highest ever?
So for FGC, yes. So this is why the meme of FGC has been called poverty, is because you don't win anything by playing it. You gotta get it sponsored. There's charts that show, there's a site that shows you winnings, and all the big boys from esports are in there, and you can look at the entirety of the FGC, and it's way behind everything. Not just one tournament, their history is behind even this year's stuff or last year's stuff. So, or 2019, I guess, was the last big year. So yeah, they have confidence going into this, and it's good because they're going to get a lot of people to show up to play Street Fighter again that maybe either thought they were going to move on from it, maybe other people who play other competitive games just for a crack at a $1 million prize pool, and bring in sponsors, and it gets the ball rolling, it gets it bigger. So This might, also gets other companies to maybe take it a little bit more seriously. Like Evo just did their announcement and guaranteed that every single tournament was going to have a baseline, $25,000 pool, which isn't $1 million, but it's starting to push everything up, which is, I think, pretty good for the community and gets more players, get more people interested in playing, which is only good for the community.
Top 10 is too easy. Do we think Street Fighter 6 will be in the top 5 selling games of the year?
Of the year?
Of the year.
I don't think it'll hit the year.
You're going to have...
Yeah, because I think it'll make it in the top 10.
Zelda.
I think it'll be one of the 10.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe top 10, but Zelda, Resident Evil... Zelda and Resident Evil definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe probably. I don't know about
maybe
Starfield.
Armored Core.
Starfield. Maybe?
Yeah, Starfield. Game Pass though. Is that weird?
Yeah.
Is this the year that they're skipping on Call of Duty, or are they still doing Call of Duty this year?
Oh yeah, then we got the usual suspects.
Yeah, you got to deal with all the usual guys.
We're not even getting the usual suspects here. It's probably not making top 5.
All right, top 10. Top 10.
It's gonna be the biggest Street Fighter sales wise. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It feels like everyone's hungry for Street Fighter 6 right now. Like there is a hunger for that.
Yeah. But yeah, Resident Evil 4 though,
dude, opening on a shot of falling in the pit before you go to fight Verdugo.
Yeah.
That is great.
I also love Sadler's gross head, dude. He's bald,
there's
fungus head.
It's the perfect mix, the perfect vibe of familiar but different.
Yes.
I'm seeing stuff, immediately recognizing where and who it is, but it's it just looks so damn different at the same time. So much better too, obviously.
Yeah.
But not just a visual standpoint, but the atmosphere of some of this stuff. I was so worried about atmosphere. Some of the shots in the mines. I didn't even realize it was the mines until it took an extra second. Oh, that's not the minecart, but that's a fight in the mines there. I'm it just looks so much better now. I was oh, this is so good. There's shout outs to the volumetric fog in some of the castle parts.
There's just a thin layer of fog on the ground.
Shout out
to the fog. Best fog of all time remake
fog, yeah.
Get Rex Silent Hill.
But yeah, they hit a lot of the things that a lot of people were claiming wouldn't be in there. Obviously, we were saying it, but we were guessing.
The sniper thing, yeah.
But showing the island, showing Krauser
confirmed.
Absolutely, showing how different some of the stuff is going to be. The minecart part is just so different.
Temple of Doom.
Because it's fun for the first time, but it's goofy to go back and play that part.
Yeah.
And Temple of Doom, perfect. Multiple tracks.
Yeah.
And
or Donkey Kong Country.
But we're seeing Lewis.
Yeah.
Lewis in some shots fighting alongside you.
Yeah.
Not just in that house last stand against the horde type thing. It's other parts where he previously was not involved in.
Yeah.
It's yo.
He's got a bigger role this time around.
This is kind of interesting.
And I think of Remake 3 obviously making Carlos was always cool, but what they did to Carlos and Nikolai in that game, and obviously Jill, best representation of Jill ever. But just how they have expanded these characters in the remakes, I think, is an underrated aspect of these games.
Also, shout out to the new kind of design of the Ganado.
Yeah.
Just the default look of them.
Kind of has the Gamma Hunter vibe of the
Okay, so you'll notice in the one thing that stood out is they show a lot of castle footage in this one. And they're usually all in robes and that, black or red robes. There's no robes. They look like the default look of a Souls game, when you roll out, whatever it's called, I forget what it's called.
Whatever.
Yeah, they look that, but they look very brutal and visceral, and they don't look so mindless. They look they look way more aggressive. Which
Suplex
is really
confirmed.
Sick. Yeah.
Well, it's throwing sights at you and stuff.
I just realized.
Okay.
Because everyone is semi-sick of a pursuer enemy, right? Because they've done it so many games in a row.
Yeah.
I feel like Ashley's section is gonna have a pursuer.
Maybe
that's what it looked like when she kind of raises the lantern and you see this thing walk by.
It's definitely gonna be more stealth.
I'm not sure if that's gonna be it. The thing I did see, I caught a glimpse of. The game was very good at least staggering attacks on you. They wouldn't overlap. I think it's very purposeful. They show a shot where two Ganado at the same time, one hurls an axe at you straight, and the other hurls the scythe, like the spinning one.
So 2 at a time.
And they approach Leon at the same time. So I'm like, oh crap! Like,
sick.
Is it just gonna be like onslaught sometimes, or like you can't just like shoot? Like usually you shoot that out of the air, but like if there's too many, maybe
Dude, that
I want to be overwhelmed.
That dopamine sound. Ping.
Dude, want to be
So
overwhelmed.
nice,
Sick that they confirmed the suplex.
Suplex confirmed. Yep.
Frickin'
Suplex
was
confirmed.
worried. It's in there.
Yep.
Well, they
Let's
also
go.
like parry with a knife into a roundhouse
of
at one
course.
point.
The knife, what that means for the Krauser fight, and they did show it. We all had thoughts, right? When they showed the parry, when we learned about the parry mechanic with the knife, everyone immediately was like, dude, what does that mean for the Krauser fight? Is it going to be real time? And they tease it,
Dude.
and it is. Oh my
So-
god. Yes.
so excited
So
for that.
what I saw in there, they did 2 knife parries, and then there was like a thing where it's like click R3 to dodge.
Sick.
So it's still sort of quick timing in a way.
Okay.
And then when you got knocked to the ground, like you had to mash to keep him from stabbing you.
Sick.
So yeah, there's definitely still fairly scripted moments in there, but I'm curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how it all fully plays out.
I think that's an armored
Just wanna-
knight.
Got it. Got it.
If I had to
Good
guess, I
call,
think it's
good call.
the armored knights are in there
Good
to make and
call.
like you just can't get if you get caught, you're like dead
Yep.
pretty much. I would guess.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like it, but maybe I would guess there's multiple Huber.
Yeah.
He's just not just one. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get a bunch of them going
Hell
there.
yeah.
I'm very very curious to see the military island parts because
There's
they
unlimited ammo in that
oh
minecart.
Oh, when you're on the
good
minecart.
catch
Yeah.
Yeah.
good catch.
Red 9, he was rocking it.
Yeah, the part with the helicopter with Mike, like I'm very curious to see how that plays out this time.
Yeah.
Because that is the part that I've always the least favorite part to go back to.
Sure.
I'm expecting the most kind of quality of life or just
Sure.
the changes to that to make it feel better this time.
I
Like that's
agree.
one way they can shoot to make it even better than the original.
Because that's such a common criticism, Damiani. So you know they've heard it over the years.
Yes.
You know, any time anyone talks about Resident Evil 4 being one of the greatest games ever made, you know, it's just like, okay, the island part is just okay. Like, you know, like the castle more and the village.
Exactly, and I was guilty of forgetting how much was part of the island. Like it was mistaking it for part of the castle. To you know, I had to like refresh myself. But we were saying before, like after our reactions, like how much we thought they've shown in this, but how much they still have not shown. Like because everything's just so iconic with this game at this point for people who played it so much. Because you were saying like you're hoping, please don't show me Wesker yet. Don't show Wesker
Don't
yet.
do it. We've waited this long. I want him to be on my TV screen, not a trailer. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
in game. Yeah.
There's like so many parts from this they have not shown yet that I'm like, I'm glad. So many bosses we still haven't seen how they're going to look, if they're going to be changed. I expect some of the bosses to be a little bit different. Yeah, they're just a handful of them. The one in the crates, the multi-part, you fight him earlier. Forget what its name is. The one you fight in the caves underground in the island. And then you go like the suspended crates.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's gonna be a little bit different this
Yeah,
time because
remix
it's so there's like a lot of opportunities, and also the biggest thing they haven't shown yet, and they better not show it at any point because if it's in the game, I want to experience it firsthand. I want that giant statue chasing me again.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah,
God, yes.
I hope it's there.
Oh, my
I hope
God.
it's back. Robot statue coming after me.
it better be. Yeah, we saw Ada in there just really briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And they teased Mercenaries.
Yeah, so they announced that there is a demo coming soon.
Yeah.
Don't know when. But then Mercenaries is not at launch. Mercenaries
Yeah.
is coming sometime later as free DLC.
Cool.
They've also earlier this week they announced that they have started development on the VR version
Yeah, 4
of RE4.
remake.
Remake 4.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it won't be like available right away.
Yeah, you won't be able to just pop it in right and do it on your first run.
Chill. Also, another huge question is separate ways. If that's going to be integrated,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Do they integrate that? Is that an unlockable when you beat it? Another mode? Is that going to be DLC? Are they going to cut it?
Yeah,
We don't know. We don't know.
I
Yeah.
could see them doing something to where it's like you just get to a certain checkpoint, kind of like with the Ashley stuff. It's just you get to a certain checkpoint,
Play as Ada.
and then now it's Ada
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Could be.
just make it all one.
Make it all one thing.
Yeah.
I think I'd like that more. Yeah, I think I would. I don't think it'd mess with the
You'd
pacing
still want to
too
have
bad.
her to have a separate inventory and all of that.
Yeah,
But yeah.
just like in Remake 2 when you swap. In 3 too, you swap to Carlos. So
Nice.
Goaty watch.
Speaking of Resident Evil, Shinji Mikami
Oh,
is leaving Tango Gameworks. This got first reported on based on an internal email that got sent out to reporters, and then later Bethesda posted a statement confirming that he'll be leaving, and just basically saying, "We can confirm that Shinji Mikami has decided to leave Tango Gameworks in the coming months." So it's not clear exactly when he's leaving.
yeah.
It's not clear why he's leaving. It's not clear what he'll maybe do next.
Going to Capcom, he's going to make Resident Evil Code Veronica remake.
Or from the way the email was
Or
worded,
remake.
it's sort of almost not clear exactly like what Tango will be doing next.
Yeah.
It's like I think that they'll probably still be a studio, but it almost
Hopefully
sounds like
Evil
there's a
Within
chance
3.
that they could be somehow integrated into some other part of Bethesda.
I don't want that. Dude,
Yeah.
I don't want this.
So, yeah.
No. I
Well-
mean, Tango is one of my favorite game companies ever. And Shinji Mikami is one of my favorite creators ever. I'm happy for him, though, because it seems like voluntarily he's parting ways, you know? Like, I think about how tired I am as, like, a 35-year-old person just doing this. I can't imagine, like, how much that takes out of you to, like, run a game studio, get a game out, and, like, for him to have been doing this for, like, 3 decades now? Like, I imagine he's tired and just wants to go do something else or take a little break, and, like, that's awesome for him.
Looking at the emails like leaked last night, whatever, the people are digging up like his old statements, basically saying that
The new generation.
Tango, he was
Always, yeah.
training,
Always.
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and that he always isn't. It seemed like his end game was to leave the studio to new talent, to foster new talent, and to move on. So from that perspective, I would imagine Tango is probably going to be fine.
Yeah.
And the last game he actually like directed was the
Within
first Evil Within, right? Yeah. So like he hasn't been that like aggressively hands on, whereas like a lot of the games people like love, like 2, Hi-Fi Rush, like obviously have a hand in involvement, but
Johannes,
like it's
dude.
more than just Shinji Mikami.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weathered the storm when Kumi Nakamura left, right? So who knows what's gonna happen there? That's intense. A lot of shakeups, I feel like, Bloodworth in the last couple years. A lot of big time people leaving places.
But yeah, as we said, like he directed Resident Evil series through 4. He
Worked on Mickey Mania back in the day.
worked on Mickey Mania.
yeah. Oh man.
Worked on Dino Crisis. Worked
Yeah.
on DMC.
Piano 3. God
yeah.
Hand.
Dude,
Yep.
so many great possibilities. Coming back to work on Dino Crisis reboot.
Yeah, maybe he's going to make Dino Crisis.
Remake. Maybe go over to Square Enix and actually make Parasite Eve.
Yeah.
Remake.
Seriously.
Oh, you can dream now.
Maybe he's going to go make a Silent Hill game on his own.
He's like, so Konami's like hiring, like, oh, you got all these Silent Hill games coming out. You got one for me?
He was also part of Clover, so there was Okami and Beautiful Joe.
Shadows of the Damn, dude. I love that game. Even though I didn't direct it, I think he just produced it and Suda directed it. I always forget.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly on that one.
So good. Garcia Hotspur.
But yeah, he helped start Platinum Games
Yeah.
when those guys left there and did
The
Vanquish.
master. The master.
Yeah.
Dude, Shinji Mikami. Best.
Legend.
Best.
Started Tango in 2010.
God. This industry would be worse without Shinji Mikami. Praise the man. Love him. Thank you for everything you've done.
But do you think going back to Capcom is a realistic thing at this point after all that time? Or?
I do, honestly.
Yeah?
I do. I'm not just saying that. I really do. I think there's a small chance, but I still think there is a chance for him to do that. Taking those statements about like the new generation, I feel like, though, another way to look at it would be like, hey, now Tango is in good hands. He followed through on his mission statement. They've put out great games without him directing. Like, okay, you guys are good. now I'm gonna go make one last one. Even though he said Evil Within was his last game, everyone always has one more in him, right?
Wait, he said that was his last thing he's directing?
Back in the day, he did. He's like, yeah, this is gonna be my last directing because he wanted the new generation to take over. So
interesting.
who knows? Yeah, because he didn't even direct the DLC on that. So yeah.
What if he went and hung out with Kojima? What'd that game be like?
I think he could have some good input for Kojima. I feel like they could collaborate really well. Because sometimes it feels like Kojima needs an editor, you know, kind of rein him in a little bit. And I feel like their styles would complement each other well.
We need the Chrono Trigger of like survival horror.
Yeah.
The ultimate collaborations.
Hell yeah.
Who else we throw in there? Kojima wanted to do Silent Hill. Didn't get his chance. No, maybe do something with MIkami. Who else would you throw in there? Like one other name. Survival horror name. Who would you throw in there? If you could. Or anyone.
Someone from like Amnesia, The Dark Descent. One of those guys. Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm curious about the reasoning, you know, because it seems like, you know, with Hi-Fi Rush in particular, that like they got support, you know, with Bethesda and Microsoft. Like they had their backs.
Yeah. Even when Evil Within 2 did fine commercially, Pete Hines, I remember, I'll never forget, because he had Evil Within 2's back, so Pete Hines is on my A-list forever. He was like, yo, it did really well. It's something we're into. We love this series. We love that studio. Like, it did well enough. You know, he's just like hoping everyone's fears out of like, oh, did it not do well enough? Are they not going to make any more? Pete Hines was like championing Evil Within.
Nice. We'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
We've got more news to come, but if you've been enjoying the show so far, please like and subscribe and ring that bell on YouTube. It helps us and it helps you stay connected. Okay. What was the biggest news this week before all this other craziness happened? Microsoft out there making promises.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to appease the regulators, trying to appease the industry, trying to get anything they can through. Just let us buy them.
Trying
just
to embrace things.
Let us buy Activision, please. We'll do anything. They won't do anything. They actually said they will not break up the company, like the UK was saying.
Yeah.
Wait, no, we're not going to do that.
Okay.
But
Activision Blizzard, you mean?
Right.
Okay.
At a press briefing this week, Brad Smith made several statements in order to give people some kind of assurances that they're not going to take Call of Duty away. So they did sign that deal that they talked about with Nintendo to have Call of Duty on there for 10 years.
Dude, what was the last Call of Duty on there? Like big red one on GameCube?
No, Wii U.
Wii U.
Yeah.
And
got it.
You know what this means, Huber?
Huh.
Switch 2 next year, baby.
Switch 2.
Next Call of Duty next year. You're gonna need that new hardware.
Well, here's the crazy thing. Here's the statement. So Microsoft and Nintendo have negotiated and signed a binding 10-year legal agreement.
Binding.
To bring
and
Call
in
of
the darkness, bind them. Sorry.
To bring Call of Duty to Nintendo players the same day as Xbox with full feature and content parity.
Online. Nintendo got to get that online going,
shit.
too.
No, they don't, because even on Wii, Call of Duty did their own online service.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They
So
totally bypassed everything. The
They're going to
Wi-Fi
let them pay
connection
for all
stuff.
that? All right, nice. There you go. That's the solution then. Let them handle it. Yeah. I don't want Nintendo to handle it.
So they can experience Call of Duty just as Xbox and PlayStation gamers enjoy Call of Duty. We are committed to providing long-term equal access to Call of Duty to other gaming platforms, bringing more choice to more players and more competition to the gaming market. Another little bit here, because that's this official statement that's screenshotted or whatever, but in the tweet where he said that, he said it more broadly, bring Xbox games to Nintendo's gamers.
There you go.
So that implies not just a Call of Duty deal.
Put all those games on Switch, baby.
Psychonauts
Psychonauts
coming
would be a
straight to
great
Switch.
fit for
Straight
Switch,
to
yeah.
Switch. One of the first.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get a bunch of, Will it just be more releases? Will it be their cloud service finally coming to Switch? What will it be?
Gears of War on Switch, dude. It's like, what?
I mean,
This is weird.
yeah, that'd be a thing. Kind of like the moment you had played Sonic not on a Sega system.
Yeah, it's like, this is weird. Yeah.
It's real. I mean, maybe not as weird. That was like really weird, but
Yeah.
this will be kind of strange. I think the moment would be like if like Halo became available on Switch. Like,
Yeah.
like
Right.
they
That'd
put
be
the Master
shocking.
Chief collection on Switch or something at
That
some
would be
point.
so wild.
Yeah.
Well, when they first started talking about the xCloud stuff, I was convinced that like it was just around the corner.
Yeah.
That they were going to announce, here it is. You can play xCloud on Switch because, why not? They want as many devices as they can get. Then that could make sense, maybe. But
This seems like it could really change the industry.
Yeah.
If this goes down, like you're saying, if Halo or something ends up on Switch, like those console lines are starting to deteriorate.
Like,
right, and
helping
Sony
increase
even
those
have been
sales.
talking about
Yeah.
putting their stuff out on other platforms. And so far, we haven't seen anything along those lines.
Yeah.
But
Just testing the waters with
Be
PC
insane,
for
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
But yeah, so that like Apex is on Switch and Fortnite is on Switch, and it's just like it's actually been kind of
Minecraft
weird
is huge on Switch.
that Call of Duty hasn't been there.
Yeah.
Oh, in shooter genre, yeah.
Yeah, because when you're saying like when was the last time, it's like, well, no, Call of Duty was huge on the Wii.
Yeah.
And I brought that up recently that like Modern Warfare on Wii is just it's amazing. Like they made that game work really well, had all the multiplayer stuff, had a community playing multiplayer for a long time there.
Sick.
It took them a few iterations to get like the Wii remote shooting right. Like the first like Call of Duty 3 or whatever that came out at launch
Yeah.
wasn't great, but by the time they got to Modern Warfare, it's like they nailed it, and they were still doing well.
I never played that version.
Yeah. And then the Wii U was the Wii U. And it's like they put out a Call of Duty game on that and clearly did not make their money back. And they're like, all right, see you, Nintendo. And never came back for
Dang.
Switch.
The Wii U.
You think Phil Spencer has held the Switch 2 in his hands yet?
He's had a meeting about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They've talked to him about it.
I don't think he's held anything in his hands, but I'm sure that they're talking about what it
They
is.
one will appear in the back behind him in a shot in the upcoming Xbox showcase.
The next side of this, same conference, all Xbox PC games are now coming to GeForce Now, so NVIDIA. And so he said, NVIDIA now supports this deal.
Yeah.
So he's out there just trying to shake hands with
Yep.
everybody to
Yep.
get this going. He's recruiting allies.
Yeah, and so what's crazy about that though is it's one of those things that sounds so funny because like it's competing with Xbox, their cloud services and all of that, except it kind of isn't because the way GeForce Now works is like you already own the game. Like you're syncing up with your save files to the games that you already own. So like to play your Xbox games on GeForce Now, you have to already own those Xbox games. I don't know if that works with a Game Pass game.
I have no idea.
That I don't know. I don't know how the technical stuff is going to be. So that's wild.
Yeah.
And now here's the part that I actually find like really funny. Regarding Sony, he brought out this envelope with the contract.
Oh.
And he said, I walk around with an envelope that contains the definitive agreement that we sent to Sony 2 days before Christmas. I am ready to sign it at any time.
What a flex!
Dude.
What a flex!
These are just like, let's go.
Oh my god!
You just stamp it with the Smash Brothers steel after 2. Send it back to Sony. You're invited to come join us. You'd like.
I actually love that. He's just ready, dude.
He runs into Sony at McDonald's. Hey, Sony.
Sign
Now I
it.
want like them. Now I wish they'd be like at E3 and this didn't happen by then, so you could walk out like at E3 and be like, "I got it still." Like here's the Call of Duty segment.
That is so good.
But yeah, so it sounds, people analyzing this think that This is probably enough to sway the European Commission. That's the whole point of this here in Brussels.
Yep.
Talking about all this.
Negotiations. To get
But it
this
sounds
done.
like UK is still an uphill battle. So not sure about that. And there's this lawsuit that's happening with the FTC in the US, happening in like August or whatever.
So still years away.
Well, that's the thing is people are also saying that like they could close by June 30th. So I don't know how closing by June 30th fits with a lawsuit in August, but
Yeah.
you know, trying to follow the people that know better than I do.
Yeah.
And now it's time for Don Casanova to get on this desk.
Poof! I'm here. I'm just arrived from the Mushroom Kingdom with Tails. Oh, Don, Tails.
I bet you do.
Yeah, Don, you had lost your voice last week, so we didn't get to talk.
Yes,
But
just barely.
you've gotten to go to Super Nintendo World. Tell us.
I got to go. I got annual pass holders. Okay, were presented with an offer. They could sign up, reserve a little window of time to get in before they officially opened.
That's the way to do it,
To
man.
check it all out. So fortunately, I got in on that, and I got to take a look at it. And I enjoyed almost all of it. A couple maybe lowlights, but mostly highlights.
Okay.
Let's start with the lowlights. Get them out of the way.
Do you want to start
Start
there?
with the lowlights. Get them out of the way.
Man,
Get them
okay.
out of the way.
All right.
And then it's all uphill.
Okay. Get out. First, let me transport you there. We got to
Yeah.
start
Yeah,
on
what is it
something
like
a little
getting in there?
positive. I don't
Yeah.
want to start on low light. We can't do a little bit. Yeah. So look. Let me present this to you. I won't give you too many spoilers, too, but I'll get you excited about this place. It's located, the lower lot. As you know, Universal has an upper and lower lot separated by a series of escalators. You
Okay.
descend into the San Fernando Valley.
Very steep.
The Starway, they call this thing. Okay, so you're descending down the Starway, and there you see it below you in the distance, Super Mario World. Kind of like you're hovering over an overworld map or something. It's very
Kind of
cool,
like you're on the Star Road coming down in the
almost.
game.
I'm
Yeah, you're
similar to
walking
that,
down.
actually.
Yeah.
Do you see Bowser's Castle down there?
Do you have pictures from this vantage point?
Yes. Laying in the photos
Okay.
as we speak. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I want to
so
see
you're
those.
descending upon this place, getting excited. You arrive, and most of you have seen this. You enter the land through a green pipe, right? You walk through a giant green pipe.
Does
and
it
they've
go?
got
Blah, blah, blah?
Yep, making a sound effect.
Yes!
There's a dazzling light show all around.
Yes!
Okay, so really getting transported directly into Peach's castle. Okay, then you walk through the castle. Bunch of nice details in there to check out.
Does
if
it
you
look like
want.
Mario 64, the opening area?
Similar
In the-
to it's a little. This area I would say is a little mix between 64 and also maybe 3D World. They do a little bit of a hybrid. Yeah,
Okay.
a little 3D World, little Mario World, and also a little 64.
Cool.
The mainland. You go in after you step out of Peach's castle, you're in the world. So the really cool thing about it, because it is a somewhat compact space, is you're surrounded on all sides, high up, with not just the world, but like there's layers, sort of like how Toontown was, where you had 2D layers, a series of 2D layers. But this is very high up, so you're completely surrounded 360 degrees. You can't see out of this place at all. So
Love
you're completely
that.
immersed. And as you turn, or there's like different areas. There's the Snow Kingdom. Each kingdom is like sort of separated, but melded together.
Is there music playing throughout at all times?
Yeah, there was some music playing.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah.
Cool.
So you step in, you're in the world, sort of this big courtyard type area, and in every direction there's something to do. There's games, there's the ride, of course, but one of the first things you need to do is get a wristband. Yeah, you got to get a wristband.
Yeah, and those things are pricey, right? So you
They're
did get one?
pricey, yeah. So here's a little bit of a low light now we're experiencing.
Yeah,
So we
here's
go
the
up.
low.
There's a series of vending machines down there, automated vending machines. You go to purchase your wristband. It's sort of like an oversized plastic watch. I meant to bring it in, actually. I forgot. And they have the various types. Here's the trick I learned, a little pro tip. You might want to check out some of the stores on the upper lot before you go down, because not only can you get in advance, but they might have more of a variety. The vending machines had a limited selection. They didn't have all of them there when I went to them, yeah. So it was a little bit limited, but they're $40 each. So it's pricey.
But if you have one, you can use it when you go.
I want to talk about how they integrate this thing for that reason.
Cool.
Really clever. So you're not like forced. For instance, if you're a family or a group, you're not forced for every member to buy one, for still everyone to participate in the games and have fun like on everything. The way they plan that is really good. So in Hogsmeade, for instance, in Universal, they have the interactive wands you can buy. I would say these wristwatches are more critical, more like essential for at least for someone in your group to have. You know, whereas the wands feel like somewhat of an optional thing. You know, but this is very fun the way they integrate them into the whole world. $40 each though, Bloodworth, so not cheap, right? But the way they integrate them in is they've got blocks, they've got hidden things, all kinds of stuff in the land that you can find and sort of explore. And the way this is set up, touch it to it, collect coins, unlock stickers, all sorts of stuff that are all tied into the app, the Universal app. You load this thing up, you go to your Super Mario World tab, it opens up an overworld map, Super Mario style 16-bit graphics with a bunch of like locations you can go to. Your character is there, whoever you get. Let's say you get Mario. Mario's there, so then you give him your unique, you know, gamer tag sort of name. And as you're doing stuff in the land, this stuff is updating in real time. And they also have like boards in the land, these little areas with like leaderboards where you can like go up, touch the band to the little thing, and it brings you up in comparison to everyone else in the park that day.
See how far behind you are from those influencers. You got a head start.
It was pretty insane. There was like, we ranked pretty high actually when we got after we got out of Mario Kart. We were like, I don't know, like 1,500 for the day, but there's like 25,000 or something. So I was like, that's really good, actually. I was surprised.
Wait, you had 1,500 and they had 25,000?
No, that was the place, like 25,000 ranked. There's like that many people in the park in one day.
Oh, and you were
like,
1,500 on
yeah, so it's like, I was super surprised how actually high up we were considering. Yeah,
that is really good.
But I'm sure the competition's going to get stiff as we go out. Yeah, it's going to get stiffer
People
and stiffer.
sprinting through, knocking kids over to get points. Insanity.
Does it say your name up on the board?
Right, it displays your character with your unique
whatever you put on the app.
And you can't put they're all unique because we put in a couple that were rejected because they were already taken. So and I assume now it's persistent as you keep going back, you know, so somehow it keeps carrying over, you know, because so they have the daily leaderboard, but then they're gonna have like
all-time
like
leaderboard.
Right. Or probably seasonal. I'm sure they're gonna do
Dude.
seasonal things, I'm guessing, you know, so it's kind of neat.
I'm very intrigued that they did not give the opportunity for that app to be like something on your Switch. I know everyone has a mobile phone.
Thought of that as well, Dom.
But it's a little weird. There's no Switch.
There's Switch integration.
Oh, there is.
Just like you tap your amiibo, you bring this thing home, you tap it to your Switch, and right now, as far as it gave a free costume for Mario Kart immediately.
That's fucking cool.
For your Mii, character
really cool.
within a unique. That's kind of a cool flex, right? You're right.
Yeah.
My friend though,
really cool.
I have a good friend. He's a Mario Kart insane for Mario Kart. This guy's put in hundreds and hundreds, thousands of hours. Insane level of competition. He plays in the middle of the night against only Japanese competitors, right? He goes on there. He's the only American in there, and he's good. He said since he's loaded up this Universal Studios outfit, this unique thing, he's getting targeted. He's been dropping down in his personal thing. He
people are trying to ram
every
him off the
single
road.
person is taking him out. Like, he's like, this is unbelievable the way he's been losing ranks, which is like he doesn't do. Yeah, actually, so it's really funny that way.
Dude, it's like sometimes in Fortnite because there's like limited skins.
Yeah, you see someone with
It's
that,
a
and
flex.
you're like, exactly.
If I see like a knight from like the earliest season, I go the other way.
Yeah, or you want to
like,
take him out because you say what, you know. But yeah, so it's
oh my god.
But that's a neat little thing, and I'm sure that I hope they're going to do a lot more of that. Just keep building. I don't think you can't bring up, as far as I know, though, you can't bring up your little Universal avatar on there.
I want to bring my Switch to Universal and load up like the Super Nintendo
I have some
World,
ideas of what they
like
should
old
do.
3DS Street Pass. Yeah, we're missing that.
Yes.
I want to like register friends and stuff. Like, exactly. This is what I dream of.
Towards this. They might be
you want to be carrying your Switch
Yes!
around Universal Studios?
It fits in your pocket.
Oh yes.
I can slide
Oh,
that thing into my pocket.
absolutely. At this
in your
place.
pocket.
In your pocket?
Yeah, I carry
Yeah.
my Switch in my pocket.
You're going to sit on that thing and break it.
No, it's gonna be in my hands the whole time, and it'd be great if I could have it on the Mario Kart ride and like.
Oh, second screen.
Yeah, like from the back,
Second
like
screen integration.
I'm the item person, double dash style. Yeah.
I can't wait to tell you about the Mario Kart.
Did they
ride.
have,
Which is flying off into the crowd.
Did they have any playable or videos of any Super Mario video game in the land? Like, was there Super Mario Bros. 1 just like hanging out? Or no?
No, but there were like graphical representations. Like for instance, like hidden stickers you can find in the land are from like all the way back to part 1. Different Marios that would be like the pixel art from that. And they do it cool because it's like hidden image within the landscape, and you find these little hidden like symbols that you light up with your watch, and it suddenly illuminates, and you're like, oh, whoa, you didn't even see. Sort of like what the heck was A Link Between, or which was the 3DS one where you went?
Train Worlds.
Yeah, it's like that. Like
they have
they have like 2D,
the 2D
graphics
Luigi
integrated.
Whoa.
You have to find in some of the Mario games that 2D Luigi.
Oh, right.
Shows up apparently. Yeah, people have been finding him in there.
There's a bunch of secrets, and there's secrets on Mario Kart too. So there's a structure to it, and this is what I was worried about. You go into the thing, there's a structure. They have different like little games, mini games.
This is Mario Kart we're talking about.
No, before you Mario Kart's the ride. Yeah. But then they have these little game experiences you can do
just in the land.
In the land, and when you successfully complete them, you get these keys for your character, on the watch. And you have to collect 3 keys in order to go to this little mini castle then to beat Bowser Jr., right?
Oh, okay.
So now the games...
Whoa.
This is what I was worried about when I first went. Go ahead.
This is like, there's like a employee there, and it's like a locked door maybe, and it's like you need these 3 keys to activate this area?
No.
You can't even go in there?
Well, that's what I thought at first.
Okay.
It's clever how they do it. So this is how the integration works, so they're not forcing everyone to buy these things. So for instance, with our group, we had, 2? I went with 5 people altogether, and we had 3 wristbands. So we all went in, though, as a group into Bowser's Castle. The people with the wristbands all had their keys. But then when we went to the final challenge, which I'm not going to reveal exactly what it is because it's friggin' magical. I'll tell you a little bit about, hint when we get there, but we all got to participate in the game, though. But then the people with the bands are obviously what get the achievement that's connected to it. Yeah, so it's very cool, though, because you can still work together and everything like that.
You need those keys to do that part.
In order to receive the reward, you can still do that, which is cool.
Cool.
So you can still play the thing, but then you're not going to receive the reward from it unless you have the thing, right? So it's very cool. Smart how they do it. I'm going to give you an example of one of the games. They're very simple things, but they had one, for instance, that's like a board of touch screen panels that you are on timer based, and you have to flip them all to the right color, but you can work as a group, so however many people are playing, or they have different challenge level, I think, that they activate because they ask you how many are playing, how many players. And so you gotta frantically be flipping all the colors, real simple stuff like that. But it's fun because it's a big wall, so you're physically moving around, and each one of you, if you want, can be it's chaos, but fun. Totally different things like that. They have another one.
Sounds like Mario Party, dude. Sounds like a real life Mario Party
little
game.
Mini games. That's essentially what it is. They have a series of tubes where you have to activate a shell at the right time, hit a shell to launch it, so it's properly timed, goes through the tubes to hit something, things like that.
Yeah.
So when you do it right, you get the key. Couple of low points now. This is all fun. The design of that is rad. I was worried because I said, oh man, I don't want to have this stuff to do when I'm in here. I just want to do what I want and have fun. But it actually works very fun because you can do it anyway, or you can do it for a purpose of trying to achieve this thing. It's optional, in that kind of way. So it works well. A little low light though. Now look, the app was not flawless. There were some glitches. One of the watches in our party at some point wasn't being updated. I said, this thing has 5 or 6 keys on it. It's still only saying 2. What's going on? One of the girls that worked there, she says, this thing isn't updating, but it's actually there, so you can just go through and get it. I was very nervous, though. It doesn't feel good when I was going into Bowser's Castle and I'm saying, this thing's only saying I have 2 keys. Yeah. I'm going to beat Baby Bowser, and then it's not going to work, and I'm getting nervous. Everyone else has it. The people I'm with have it, so I was already getting really nervous. Yeah. It all worked, though. At some point later in the night, actually, after we did Bowser, all the things updated properly. So it all worked in the end, which is nice.
So the watch knew, but the app had to wait.
The app was the one. So that probably might just be some bugs they're working on. Hopefully that won't be a constant thing. Something to be aware of.
Early access.
In the end, it worked.
We're in early access.
Another couple of glitches I noticed with this world, that you got to be aware of. Low lights. Some of these games you're participating in, at some point, this game... it seemed simple, right? Okay, it was the one where you knock the shell through the tubes to hit the lock at the right point. People seem to be doing it, but it's going womp, fail. It gives you 3 chances before you got to get back in line, and you get 3 chances before you fail. So people are failing, but I'm like, the timing seems right. What's going on? Timing right. Then we fail, then I fail, and I'm like, I know I had this thing. What's going on? And the employee didn't really know who's assisting you right there. the thing was bugged out. Something happened with the light sensor, this and that. So suddenly a bunch of people, it just wasn't working right. So that was a little bit of a bummer, that it just whatever. You had to go back, and when it was working again, you had to wait. They reset it or whatever they did. These might be early day glitches they're working out as well, but I'm sure that kind of thing is going to happen where these mini games are going to be down, things like that, and that'll affect
first couple
your
weeks,
experience.
month or two.
The other thing, real world, rage quitting now. We're going to see this.
Wow.
Little kids.
Dancing rage quitting.
Little tiny kids rage quitting here, Damiani. Because think about this. You go up, you have 3 chances, you fail, and the employee says, okay, you're 5 years old, and you get back in line, then you got to go hit these shells 3 times again. You're angry. I saw kids getting dragged away by their parents, screaming, not wanting to go away from the game because stand back in line. So this is another little thing, and I don't know how you get around something like that. That's a difficult thing when you have because you can't let the person just keep trying.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a thing. Most of the time, fortunately, these games are easy enough that if you're playing with a group or some kind of assistance, they let people help each other.
There are multiple terminals or interfaces for the game, or is this one period for each game? Because they have a second one, you can have a kids lane or something, and let's let the kids do their thing.
Some of them involve you can play with more of a group. Some of them really take one individual. But essentially, it's one either team or player at a time. Yeah. So, but most of them were very fun. Only one of them was super, super simple, kind of. Most of them are fun little simple games. Getting the keys is fun. The baby Bowser, though, thing. I'm not going to say what it is, the final challenge, once you have the keys. But all I will allude to, is it's like a Nick arcade type of thing. They put you in the game sort of deal, and it is simple, but I thought it was going to be janky. It's so fun and silly and simple, but it works good. And playing it with a little group of people is because you're all co-op, and some of you are getting hit and shrinking, and some of you are getting power-ups and using them. So it's sick as hell. That's all I'm going to say. It's sick as hell. Yeah. And it was way funner than I thought. That Bowser Jr. Yeah, baby Bowser.
Oh yeah, Don. Which wristband did you get? Which one did you end up?
So I got 2 for my boys. My boys got Mario and Luigi. That's what they wanted, so that's what they chose. And we also someone got a Yoshi, so that's what we got, Mario. Yeah. And they also have Peach and
Bowser,
Toad. They don't have Bowser. I think just right now those Peach, Toad, Mario, Luigi. Those are the options, and Yoshi.
Saving Bowser for later, Huber.
Yeah. DLC.
Bowser's got it at some point.
What about Mario Kart?
So the ride, Mario Kart now, the big centerpiece of the land. First of all, you enter the ride. The queue for this thing is absolute 5-star.
I love a good line queue, dude.
It is long. This thing, these stockades go for miles and miles and miles. I imagine if this thing is full, it's definitely a 3-hour plus wait.
Have you seen the breakdown of? There's a overhead view of the park and the ride. How much the ride takes up 50% of the real estate.
Of the park.
So that's why there's so much the queue line so huge.
Oh yeah,
because it's half the park.
It's a big ride, but also the way it works with loading and everything, that's something I'm wondering if they're going to have trouble with. I'll explain it when I get there. But basically, the queue first, the stockades are long. You're in this line maybe for hours. Fortunately, the crowds were small, so we got to drift through this thing so fast that it was there were so many places where I wanted to take knees because there's detail everywhere. And I won't spoil a lot of this stuff, but you travel through areas. So, you're in a Yoshi's Island, for instance. Everything is done in that art style.
Nice.
You're completely immersed.
Incredible.
100. You pass through other Mario.
It'll be a pleasure waiting along.
That castle, you're going through Bowser's castle, massive. The amount of detail is just stunning in that place, right? So you just want to look everywhere. We're moving too fast. I kept wanting to be, I want to see all this stuff, So it's sick. So even
you
if
got kids behind you barreling.
Everyone's going to trying to get there as fast as you can. Complex ride though. This is AR.
Yeah.
Augmented reality, right? So you get these visor that you connect to your head. 4 people hop in a cart, and you have trigger buttons on your thing. You have a visor that goes over your face that has a narrow field of view. This is one of the lowlights of the thing, narrow field of view. So you really got to just lock your eyes forward and keep them forward and move your head, because otherwise you're going to have breaking, immersion here on the peripheral vision. But you're essentially given commands during this race, which moves on a track, sort of like Transformers or something like that, but more complex, through these areas where there is projection screens in some parts. Some of them are all real-world sets, but then you've got this constant AR integration in it. You're in a Mario Kart race, and you're firing items. You look down and you see your HUD. They don't tell you this in the instructions. At least I missed it, but I didn't notice it at first. That if you look down, you see how many shells you have.
Oh,
So I was
nice.
I don't
okay.
know how many shells you have. Yeah. So you look down, you see your shells, and something else down there. I think.
So what happens? What happens if you get hit? Does your cart like physically slow down or stop or something?
No, so somehow now I don't know how the mechanics of the game are working completely, but you're in a race and you're on Team Mario or whatever is against Team Bowser. So there's teams, of racers, and you're seeing the other carts, which I believe are on the Mario team are representations of the other cars that are on the track with you at the time. There's several cars. I don't know how that's all separated. But essentially, when you're getting hit, you're losing your coins. And when you're successfully targeting things, successfully targeting other racers, you're gaining coins.
Okay.
So by the end of the ride, the end of the race, you either won or lost. And we lost the first time, Team Mario, whatever we were on. It's a little nebulous, though, who you're involved with. You're like, what other
Okay.
cars on this track am I with? Who, this and that. The other mechanic is you have like a steering mechanic where you'll be told, turn left, turn right in order for optimal viewing things at certain times. I didn't understand if does everyone in your cart have to successfully do that?
okay.
It's a little chaotic, so you don't know,
I
or
see.
like it seemed like everyone has to successfully make that maneuver in order for it to be perfect. You know what I mean? In terms of the targeting, though, each rider has their complete individual. As long as you look, you can target anything you're looking at. So the ride stalled and broke down a couple times, but the visuals kept going. This was sick as hell because I'm sitting there looking all around, cranking my neck.
love when
They
rides
have
break down.
hidden stuff everywhere, like
Nice.
little block way over there, little thing over there, that while you're riding to hit all that stuff is like insane, you know what I mean? But super cool. So that's the thing, though, in terms of the ride stopping, I think it stopped on both of our rides because we went on it twice. This was a priority Mario Kart.
Of course, main event.
Yep. It stopped both times, and I think it's just because with these carts constantly moving, but then the loading process takes a minute for everyone to get on and this and that. So I think there's just ultimately it gets to like these backup points where it just like the carts can't keep advancing because you have too many people loading
Gotcha.
simultaneously.
Is it like Indiana Jones style where your cart goes through?
Yeah.
Like it's moving?
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
like
Your
that,
cart's moving
but it's
through on a
all
track.
And it's
AR,
AR as well.
But
So-
there's real. It's integrated with like real.
But like
practical
you're sitting
stuff.
in a thing that's
Yeah,
also
for
going.
two
Yeah.
and two. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then when you look, you're seeing like graphics, game graphics.
Yeah. I'm very
pixelated looking graphics.
I'm very
which is
curious
cool.
to go on it eventually. My slight worry is
Yeah.
that having been on the Cars ride at Disney, that's like what I was expecting this to be when I first back in the day when this was first
Radiator
announced for like
Springs.
Radiator
Yeah.
Springs like type ride, and the practical effects of that is like mind-boggling. It looks so good.
Yeah.
I'm curious how good the AR looks.
Here-
Like,
yeah.
is it really holding up, or is it just like the gameplay mechanics are good?
Here's the thing about it. To different degrees, it's successful. When you're in certain areas that are completely practical around you, and so the only other thing you're having is this AR graphics. In those areas, it's a little bit of chaotic, and it doesn't hold up well because they don't blend wonderfully. You know what I mean? And it's a little bit. But then you get to these other areas where you're like surrounded by projection style graphics, like almost in every direction. I won't spoil what it is, but like. And in those areas, the effect is way better just because you're already surrounded by like graphical, feedback, and then you have this extra layer of graphical feedback then on your face. So that differing degrees. I was expecting something like Toy Story, for instance.
Yeah,
I was
I know
thinking
that one,
something.
yeah.
So it's like. It's a little more chaotic than that at first. I assume this ride is the kind of thing that it's like you want to go on it again because you're like, I missed a lot of stuff. You're like, there's a lot I missed that I saw. I could do better, this and that. So that's a good thing. But also, I could imagine like older people maybe or people that don't even play any game experience at all. This is going to be like a lot of chaos probably at first. They're probably like won't even know what the hell they're looking at.
it's like a video game.
Yeah, 'cause
honestly.
it feels like a very advanced arcade game.
Yeah,
from what
it kind of
you're
is.
describing, and and less of like a ride experience. Like it's like not as impressive on that end, but like it's more like the game, which I guess fits.
Yeah.
What it's Nintendo, a Nintendo world, so that would be what they're doing. But the rides that blow me away the most nowadays are like Radiator Springs, like freaking amazing going on for the first time last year.
I still haven't been on that, so I
It's
can't
just
compare
so like the
I
sense of
can't
speed
compare
you
it.
have. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's going really
Really good
fast,
speed, yeah.
really good practical things where you're like running, like get avoid stuff, and like it's on a track, but like it's just very immersive and feels good. And then obviously like high bars like Rise of the Resistance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I was hoping to go more in a practical thing like that, and I don't know if the game part of this carries it as much by
Yeah.
sacrificing some of that.
Yeah, it's like the practical stuff is neat, but the places where the ride is most effective is where you're like surrounded by more like projection screen and the graphics and stuff like that. But overall, it's still really fun, and you want to do it like over and over, and then you see your results that are on the leaderboards
That's
and all
cool.
that feeds into that.
How was the food?
That's exactly.
Yeah,
It's
that was
So
about to
here's
ask
the
about the
thing
food.
now. Look,
Okay.
the
I know they have
food
the
was a
Toad
major
Cafe.
issue. Yeah, they have the Toad
Oh.
Cafe. This thing had, during all these preview events, people were seeing, posting on social media, they went into the land, they waited an hour. They spent their entire preview time just waiting for the food, right?
Crazy.
Yikes.
So we made, and when we got there, the Toad Cafe was packed to the gills. It was that sort of situation where you're like, look, we're going to be waiting for an hour. We targeted everything else.
Okay.
Food became our last priority. I've looked at the menu. I'm salivating. I love how they make, they do a beautiful little thing making them all look like Mario items that you're eating and stuff like that. My one big, thing that I still haven't gotten over, I've been really upset about this. They haven't brought over the peach popcorn. There's absolutely no
So
sign
they
of peach
didn't
pop-
bring it,
There's
okay.
not a sign of the peach popcorn. I saw Japan, they have the peach popcorn. This stuff sounds seems
no.
yummy as hell. Do they think we can't handle it over here? I'm trying to figure out
Don,
what's going on with this peach
I just-
popcorn. I've been wanting to eat this for like 2 years since I heard about it.
Special ingredients, Don.
Don.
You, they can't survive the crossing.
You don't even have to go to it to see like it's a downgrade. Like
Yeah.
even the menu. The biggest
But the
thing for me
menu does look nice, though, doesn't it?
It looks like, okay, give it that. It looks like nice, but compared to its Japanese counterpart, just take a look at the freaking cake,
Yeah.
the peach cake.
Yeah.
We get a cupcake. Here, a little like pink cupcake.
Yeah.
They get a mini version of the Mario 64 cake at the end. It's yeah,
is that fair?
we do not get that, and there's other cut items. So while some of the stuff looks great, and I hope by the time I get to go, it's like died down a bit, and it's
Yeah.
not like everyone's rushing to go. The food's played out by that point, so it's like I can just take my time. Maybe like
Yeah.
only like a 30-minute wait.
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
nice.
yeah. And they have a reservation system actually, which
Oh, they do?
hopefully will work good in the future. But when I was there, it
Wasn't.
wasn't functioning properly, and we had friends that went during different reservation times. It never worked for anyone I know. So
Okay.
right now it's just botched, but hopefully in the future the reservation system will help. The food looks good. I didn't try any food. It was the only
That's
thing
all
I
right.
didn't do. But I went on Mario Kart twice, so that was
Nice.
I had to go
Nice.
twice.
Worth it.
Yeah.
And then did you? Yeah. What? I know they've got costume characters and stuff there. Are they just hanging out at specific spots, or are they wandering around a lot?
So the
or?
only costume characters we saw were Mario and Luigi twice, but both times they just kind of showed up at this photo op place. Then they had a little line, and we went, and then like they left before we got a picture with them both
okay.
times. So their handlers were very sort of aggressive. Mario and Luigi's handlers were very aggressive, right? So they're not giving anyone any breaks here.
Gotcha.
If you're not close, in
Some
in
real
line at the
Goombas
right
over there.
number. Yeah, they should dress them like Goombas. That'd be sick as hell, actually. They dress some of the
That
employees
is
like Goombas.
genius.
What else do I want to? So, and the merch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get something?
I didn't get anything. The merch is so outrageously expensive.
fucking
It is
can only imagine.
Sure.
unreal.
I can only imagine.
I mean, and not just that, but honestly, it's the only low light. The biggest low light so far is the merch, and I hope it improves.
$70 for a sweater, probably.
Oh,
like,
more for a sweater?
90.
Yeah, like 90 for a
Jeez.
sweater. T-shirts are like $40 and $30 for like, and the quality isn't there. The design isn't there. There's a couple of cool designs, but I did get a T-shirt prior to that. But it's essentially mostly the same merch you can get in the Super Nintendo store in City Walk or on the upper lot. They also have a Super Nintendo
Okay,
store.
so
Mostly the same stuff. They had a couple of maybe extra little items, but nothing huge. It wasn't like a whole different variety of things.
that makes me a little happy.
Very
to hear,
pricey,
actually.
and the quality, I mean, is not there. You
Ugh,
know, we're talking
that's
about
not good,
if you're
though.
looking at a snow globe, it's not like a thick, heavy, even plastic. It's a
Oh,
lightweight plastic, and these
exactly.
things are like $40 for a little throwaway souvenir. You know, a little fishing game they had that was cute as hell, but it's very cheap, and it's like $40-$50. They're just insane prices of like.
Wow.
You know, so in the future I'll probably get some stuff, but maybe like a little bit. But the merch was a little bit, I think. they
And
could
then did you
improve on.
see anything there really that was like not Mario? That was other Nintendo stuff?
No, they really did. They definitely. I didn't see any Zelda or Donkey Kong even really, which I thought I was going to see. So far, maybe some more will come with the movie, but it was really only Mario and Toad. Yeah, that was it.
Was there anything F-Zero related on the Mario Kart ride?
Not that I noticed, not that I caught. But there might be. I bet you there's a lot of Easter eggs. There was a lot to look at, especially since because the whole time you got to think you can actually spin the car. Maybe not 360, but it has a lot. So and everywhere you turn and look, there's like different stuff happening. So who knows? They might have a little tip the cap, but I doubt it. I was looking for Wave Race. Yeah, one of the other cool things, I guess, was that you can get up to, there's a lot of little like nooks and crannies you can explore, more than you think at first, right? So it's actually, for the size of it, there's quite a bit of areas you can explore, including this one little hidden kind of cool area you can go up and find where they have the binoculars that are mounted, kind of like the sightseeing binoculars. Cool. This got me excited. They're AR binoculars. So when you look through them, you're looking all around the land at real people that are there, everything that's really there. But not only it adds this like slightly digitized effect to everything first of all, but then within that you got the Mario characters, fireworks, all kinds of augmented reality stuff happening within the land from these positions.
That's cool.
That is one of the coolest things and one of the biggest things I think for the potential of this place in the future, because I remember when they were first building it, and they weren't saying what exactly it was, and I wasn't, studying the Tokyo one because I didn't want too many spoilers. But at first, that's what I thought it was going to be. I thought there was going to be I thought you were going to go into the land with glasses and there's going to be augmented reality everywhere. And maybe they can't take it that far, but if they added a lot more of that kind of stuff, even a visor you can wear that maybe only works at certain specific points, but that you can, participate with. Oh, God, that would bring it to such a different level. Because looking through there and seeing the characters, like little Koopas, stuff like that, like flying Koopas or something, it was so rad. So that was super cool.
Squid Kid 2015 in chat says there's Pikmin.
There are Pikmin. Yeah, I thought there was something.
Oh, yes. Actually, I think there are other characters probably scattered about, though. I didn't come across any of those.
Excellent. Thank you, Don.
Cool, Don.
Yeah,
that's what it is. We're all the way there. Yeah, so it was quite a fun experience overall. It was very awesome. Exceeded my expectations, and it elevates Universal now to just an insane. I'm serious. It's serious competition for Disney. Someone may laugh when they hear that because you know what I mean. I've been a Universal fanboy, but the amount this adds to it, to what they've already been doing to that park now for years.
Well, I'm curious when they do Orlando, what that's going to be like too. Yeah.
Oh god.
Orlando's going to be more like Japan's one. It's going to have apparently it's going to have the Yoshi ride. That's not at this one.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they had 3 rides.
And there's Donkey Kong has already been approved.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
So, super fun anyway. It was fun to go. Can't wait to go back. We all got to go. We have a sick time beating Bowser Jr.
Yes.
I'll be the mole, dude. I'm on Bowser's side.
I can't believe they don't have a Bowser watch. Really
if you're fighting Bowser, I think that kind of makes sense.
The Bowser
Team against
statue when in Bowser.
That's one of the only things I've seen of this land is that statue.
The scale of that thing when you're standing there, you're like, this place.
Pay your respects.
Rad.
Yeah, pay your respects, dude.
All right, I'm vanished now.
Nice.
Poof.
Also this week, in a WB earnings call today, they stated Mortal Kombat 12 slated to launch this year.
Pop the champagne, Huber. Pop the champagne.
Pop it. I'm watching those anime movies we were talking about this week, Don. There's 3 of them.
Oh, yeah.
I heard the first and the third one are really good.
Nice.
A year with maybe Tekken and Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, that is high stakes.
Unreal.
Yeah.
I also don't know for sure whether this year means
fiscal
or calendar. Yeah.
Good call. Do you think Ed Boon is upset right now?
No.
Okay. Good. I don't want Ed
These
Boon
things come up all the time. The earnings call things are just vague title coming. Okay. Thomas Mahler, head of Moon Studios, said that their next project is going to be a make or break moment for Moon. Either we manage to revolutionize the ARPG genre, or we'll slowly fade away into the distance. Well, that should be scary.
Good
I love the challenge.
My God.
Diablo, Path of Exile, etc. We're coming for you. May the best one win.
Dude,
Dang.
I like it.
Showmanship right
Yeah,
there.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's like, what's his name? Joseph Ferris energy.
Right? But also, it's just like, you're going from Ori to like a Diablo-style ARPG. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just, and then out the gate saying you're gunning for the leaders of that genre. I'm like,
I mean, if you're not coming for the best, like, what are you even doing here?
yeah,
right?
that's
Like,
basically the way, that's the
Yeah.
attitude. It's like, make it or break it.
that rules.
Yeah.
One to watch because Ori is incredible.
Yeah.
Both of them.
There is going to be a Pokemon Direct, 6 a.m. Monday morning. There's also going to be a Super Mario movie Direct, showing the final trailer for that movie on
Spoilers.
March 9th. I don't think we're going to be live for either one of those things, but because the Pokemon Directs can be weird, especially when they're at 6 a.m. Sometimes it's just like, hey, look, here are the collaborations that we have to celebrate this anniversary.
They might show the new one, maybe, or no? Too
There's
soon?
no
No.
Way too
mainline
soon?
new one.
No,
And it cranked
they
out-
might show another like remake.
DLC
potentially,
also
but,
probably, but
Show.
But there could, yeah, it's one of those things that smells like, this could just be like a lot of like weird little marketing tie-in things.
Yeah. Filler one.
always.
But
do
we'll know.
this. It always happens, like clockwork. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if we don't react to it, it's like, well, you know, if it's worth talking about, we'll talk about it on here next week.
Cool.
And then Mario movie, like, we'll talk about it more when it gets closer. We actually have a fair lead time on that. It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know if we want to see more of that movie.
Yeah.
It's like a 90-minute movie, and you've already shown a lot.
Yeah. And
So-
especially when you, like Resident Evil style, you know, when you get to like the third trailer,
Yeah.
like, they start showing all of it.
Yeah. Splatoon 3, speaking of showing stuff, they've been showing off a ton of new stuff that's coming up here in March.
When's
for
the last time you hopped in?
Season 3? Last night.
Sick. I know you love it.
But
dope.
I was looking to see, because I saw one of these out of context. I'm like, wait, is that in the game now? And it's like, no, it's coming up with the March update. But the two big highlights out of all the stuff that they're showing off on Twitter and stuff right now, first, they're introducing what they call pools. And so this is so you can group up with people that are not on your friends list and just play together. So for like streamers and stuff and all of that. And so you can just make a pool that's like
Thank you. I love that
Easy A
stuff.
Clan.
Thank
and
you.
then everybody that types in Easy A Clan is in the
Perfect.
pool and might match up to each other.
Cool.
Perfect. Thank
so-
you. Perfection. Perfection. I'll clap for that. Thank you.
And then secondly, they're finally pulling that jukebox up out of the floor, so you will be able to go to the jukebox and play songs that you like. And in private matches, you can pick songs to play in your private matches with your friends.
That's cool.
Sweet.
Fun little extra feature there.
Heck yeah.
Along with the PlayStation VR 2 support, Gran Turismo 7's latest patch adds a new AI system named Sophie. There's a limited time
Sophie.
event where you can race against Sophie at different difficulty levels. So it's,
Deep mind.
yeah. So they've trained this
GPT.
AI up to be, more like a human racer, more competitive, more aggressive.
Whoa.
And they're saying
Skynet.
it can compete against even GT's best human players. And it uses, it doesn't use any tricks, doesn't use any rubber banding.
Just is the best.
It's using the same physics limitations that players has. And it has to judge, like, when to try to, like, pass you and be aggressive with balancing sportsmanship.
I
they can't
love that.
Yeah.
It's the sportsmanship of Gran Turismo.
can't just
7.
run you off
Yep.
the road. Yep.
I love all of that. God, I love that game.
The update also includes 5 new cars and the return of Grand Valley, which is what I really want to check out. Aside from, I want to check out VR as well, but I
Yeah.
want to check out this Grand Valley track
Sick.
because it's like Pacific Coast Highway
So
cliffs and all
cool.
that. Yeah,
What did they say? What cars?
they do have the list. If you want me to bring it up,
I would like the list, please.
yes. Just take a second, and it copied the link instead of sending me to it.
No rush. No rush.
All right, there's Grand Valley. 5 new cars. The Honda RA 272-65.
Sick.
Um,
Honda, dude.
It's
Fuck
like a little
yeah.
little race car.
Thank you,
F1
Gran
machine.
Turismo.
The Ital Design Exenio Vision Gran Turismo Street and Off-Road mode. That's one of those crazy, like, futuristic silver ones with the crazy lights and crazy wheels and stuff.
Ray tracing showpiece.
A Citroen DS21 Palace 1970.
Cool.
So you scratch that little itch there. The Porsche 911 Carrera RS 901 1973.
Ooh.
Very beautiful, iconic car. And I think there's one other, but
I'm glad you said 70s. Yeah. Sick.
I think. Oh, I see. I think the Vision GT one. There's
two versions of it.
Just two versions of it. That's what it is. Yep.
Very cool. Sweet.
And then Dawn, roll this trailer. Hopefully it didn't get. It's in there somewhere. If you, let me undo that. There it is. Minecraft is getting collaboration with Mega Man X.
Wow.
This thing is crazy.
Yeah.
It is super, super detailed. It's not just got like the characters and stuff, but they've gone through and they've recreated different levels.
Yeah.
So you replay the levels in Minecraft.
But they won't make a new Mega Man X game.
Yeah, that's what I said.
This is nice, but it's like, please just make a damn new Mega Man X game, please.
You've got all of these different bosses, all of these different skins, all these different like
but
mechanics.
they still platform like in Minecraft physics,
exactly.
though, so
This
it's not going to feel as good.
Yeah, it's not
This
at all.
more bitter than bittersweet for me.
But it's just crazy because it's like you see these representations
So fucking cool, dude.
of these levels,
What?
but it's fully 3D, right? You have two side-scrolling levels
cool.
now in the Minecraft engine in a 3D space.
Wow.
It's cool that they did this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like you could be making another Mega Man X game.
It'll come.
Yeah.
It's got a pulse.
I'm
Anytime
sure,
shit
I'm
like
sure it's
this
Mojang
happens-
that made that, so.
Anytime this shit happens, man, Mega Man X has got a
This
pulse.
is, we've had this Mega Man X rumor for like 5 years, 6 years now, and it just hasn't happened.
The final entry in the Layers of Fear series, now slated for June 2023. And yes, it is now simply called Layers of Fear, no longer Layers of Fears.
Yes. Smart. Layers of fear.
Meanwhile, Lies of P is due out in August, and Valheim is coming to Game Pass on March 14th.
Nice.
So we'll see if that gets a second, because that was huge for a while. It's kind of died off.
Yeah, that's a good get right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, because it was such a zeitgeist.
Yep.
That'll be fun to watch.
All right, now roll this one, Dawn. This one, I'm excited for other people. This is one of those kind of trailers.
Oh, this.
So you might remember a Super Nintendo game called Cybernator. Justin Spear at Game Trailers was a huge proponent of this game.
Sick.
That game is actually a heavily censored version of the Japanese game called Assault Suits Valken. And now a brand new Japanese publisher is bringing the game to Switch and localizing the uncensored version for the first time. It includes not only the full game with the new translation, but it also has the expected features like save states and rewind and stuff. But there's also new artwork, interviews, soundtracks, and a full translation of the 80-page Japanese guidebook.
Amazing.
Dang.
Great package.
That's really good.
Hell of a package. You gotta love it. Every time this stuff happens, Bloodworth, a game I've never even heard of, but here it comes, whole new audience, and just preserving it. I love when this happens for any and all games. Good stuff.
And finally, you may or may not remember a cool little indie game called Birth that I checked out at Summer Game Fest, where you're going around doing puzzles where you collect bones and body parts and all this kind of stuff, real creepy, macabre kind of thing
You have my attention.
to put together a partner to keep you from being lonely.
Wow. Okay, this actually sounds like right in my wheelhouse, Bloodworth.
That game came out last week,
It did?
so you can just go play it now.
Dude.
I was completely not aware of when that release date was.
It's called Birth,
Birth.
like the Nicole Kidman movie.
It's time for Love and Respect. Love and Respect. From Victor. Hey, allies. Just wanted to bring up a topic Damiani had on Frame Trap that I would love him and the panel's opinion on. The topic was about collector's edition problems, where people who really want these seem to get beat out by resellers and bots. But I feel like limited run games has come up with somewhat of a solution, like they did with the Dead Space remake. I ordered mine, and it'll take about 6 to 8 months to complete.
Yeah.
However, they sent the physical game and emailed me the digital bonus content codes. I don't mind waiting that long because I got my purchase in, and I'm excited for when it gets here. So my question is, do you all think this could be a way around not getting a hold of a collector's edition, or am I just an insanely patient person?
Yes.
I love that.
That's a great idea.
It's great.
I swear Brad or I brought it up later in that discussion, or maybe we just said it afterwards. Maybe it wasn't on camera. But I mean, it's something that I think several people would love for more companies to do, which is just take as many pre-orders as you can for limited edition stuff.
Yeah.
And you just don't guarantee a date for it.
Yeah.
Because like you see how many you have. They could plan out manufacturing waves to do them in bulk, so it's still the budget doesn't balloon too high.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind, like, instead of having to deal with bots or anything like that crazy, just at any point within a window, sign up for it during these 2 weeks or whatever. This is the 2-week pre-order period. If you get it in at that point, we'll guarantee you'll get one at some point. Now, obviously, the longer you wait, there's like potential it doesn't get fulfilled. Obviously, like there's probably stories about something like that happening for various pre-orders that do that. But in general, it seems like a really good solution to do. And what limited run does, whereas like you don't want to wait for like the game or have to buy a second copy of just like a standard version, they'll do that. I would prefer if that was just an option they offered you, because usually for this collector stuff, I'm buying it for collector's purposes. I don't want to get it piecemeal. It's like, no, put everything in the box, seal it. I will take it like that, and I'll buy a second copy of the game or do whatever is differently to do that. And I wish this extended to more than just collectors, like GPUs, like everything that's ever been hard to get. Obviously there are things that are limited, like ticket sales. You can't do it like that, obviously, because like the artist can't say, I'm just going to perform for 2 years at this concert thing. But I think for a lot of goods rather than services, this is a potential solution, as long as there's like not a limited, something that puts a restriction on how many could be made, like raw materials or something like that.
Yeah.
Anything that makes it harder for the bots and the resellers, I'm all for, because they're scum.
Speaking of that, that's the system they're trying to do for the Final Fantasy Fan Fest tickets in July.
It's like people just want to enjoy things, and they're like out here trying to.
This is what they're
charge
doing.
People times 10.
This is what they're doing, because the last time they tried to do it, they tried to limit it to you have to have like a valid account, and it had to be like actively subbed.
Members account or
but
whatever.
within like minutes, it went down. It crashed, and they were sold out, and bots got a lot of them. So this time, they're going with what Japan does for almost every type of large-scale event, is 100% a lottery system this time.
I like in person, dude.
For 2 weeks.
Go to the place.
For 2 weeks, for a 2-week period, you have to go to your account, sign your intent that you're interested in it, and then you have to be an active sub. Like, you have to have an active sub as well. So all the previous restrictions plus a lottery. And then they're just going to, like, when that's over, they're going to have a lottery drawing period. And you'll be notified by email by this date. And then you can go buy up to 2 tickets. And yeah, it's like random. But also, I think it like makes it's one extra step that bot users have to like try and jump through, an extra hoop. And I think... Hopefully, I hope this plays out better. But
hopefully it doesn't botch like that Taylor Swift situation last year. Remember that?
Yeah, well,
if you were like part of her fan club or whatever, you got first access.
Apparently,
then, like, they went around her and they just like started selling.
I would, if it's going to come down to like first come first serve, where bots have this bullshit advantage, I'd rather just do a lottery system. Like your chances are better in that than trying to beat a goddamn set of bots that like are you can't compete with that.
I agree.
Yeah,
roll the dice.
Yeah,
how the chips fall.
Exactly.
Let's play a game. It's been a minute. We got a game this week. From Sage Mode Q. With Like a Dragon Ishin coming out, it reminded me of this game I brought a couple years back, and the panel seemed to like it. Concept was simple. Steven Seagal movie or Yakuza side quest. Let's do that again, but with a little twist. This time, it will be a Yakuza sub-story or a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Oh, right.
Oh, we can do
Jean-Claude. Let's go. Okay, we're going to get some really obscure Jean-Claude films, though. Get ready. Get ready.
In the last 3 years, I don't know. Like,
I'm standing for
we might get some...
I'm standing.
Okay,
Let's
Eber's
go.
excited.
This is awesome.
Let's go.
All right. So these could be a side quest from any mainline Yakuza game
Okay.
or Judgment game.
Yeah.
I have no
Don, you're
idea.
right though. The last like decade of Jean-Claude Van
That's the
Damme
thing
movies,
I'm
blind
nervous
spot.
about. Yeah, the last 60, he's probably made 100 or 200.
Yeah.
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 Hopefully they're all from the like
With-
90s and early 2000s.
With generic titles like Maximum
Hey, who knows
Maximum
what,
Impact.
Vengeance or
Wait,
something.
Maximum Impact was one. Was it?
I know.
That's JCVD. That's JCVD.
All right. First one. The Quest.
That's
That's
Jean-Claude Van
Jean-Claude Van
Damme.
JCVD, baby, JCVD.
Yep. 1995.
Yep.
That's funny, though. Side quest thing starting with the quest.
Yeah.
The Witness.
Yakuza.
Yakuza 4.
Nice.
Nice.
Winter Combat.
That sounds like something from the last decade.
Oh, no.
It could be. I'm going to say Yakuza, but it could totally be the last decade of JCVD.
All
movies.
right. What do you?
I'm going to say Yakuza.
All right, Huber, let's see if
but
you're right.
I'm not confident.
I'm riding
in this
with you. I'm riding with you.
Me too.
Yakuza 5.
Yeah.
one. Let's go.
Keep it rolling.
Rags to Riches.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's JCVD.
That's John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw that one. I'm pretty sure, but that was in the last decade.
Okay, I'm worried now if Blood's looks.
Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Oh,
Blood's
Don,
looking.
you had me.
I shut up because Blood's look gave it away. I'm like, all right,
I was going to say
I'm not
Yakuza, but
gonna.
Don convinced me.
What? There's something with rags to riches in there.
Maximum Risk.
That's Jean-Claude Van
That's
Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, 100%.
1996.
Yeah.
No Retreat. No Surrender.
Oh, 100% JCVD.
Okay, Don said 100%.
All right. 100%. I'm going with you. I was going to
Okay,
say Yakuza again.
95%. 95%.
1986.
Nice, Don.
The Lone Survivor.
I don't know.
I would
So-
say
so
Yakuza. I don't
Yakuza?
know.
I'm going to say Yakuza.
Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Nice.
Dragon Eyes.
Ooh, I have no idea. This
no
one
idea.
I'll
sounds
say
like
Yakuza again.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, what year?
What year?
2011.
There it is.
2011.
no, the last decade.
They got us.
Almost last
Post
decade.
2000.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn it.
Oh, we got had.
Damn it.
Last one. Welcome to the Jungle.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I
That's my
don't
guess.
know.
Everyone has to pick one this time.
I'm going to say
Everyone pick.
Yakuza.
I'm going to say Yakuza.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah!
What year?
2013.
Damn
Yeah! It sounded like a decade title.
After 2010, man. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Something in my mind immediately went to Amazon Prime, like random, like Jean-Claude Van Damme, like image. I'm like, maybe.
Great game.
Veronix the Great. Longtime listener, first time messenger. Do you ever find it hard to return to games after a longer period of time to play their released DLC? I find myself almost never returning to play DLC, especially if the game in question is very story heavy.
Yeah.
And or the DLC is disconnected from said story or is placed earlier in the timeline. Whenever I roll credits, I almost always feel satisfied and the story just feels nicely tied up in a bow. For example, I never really played any DLC for Mass Effect 2 or 3, even though they are some of my favorite games with some of my favorite characters. Yet I know that I should at least play ones like the Citadel because everybody keeps raving about how it fleshes out these characters. Love and respect to my favorite gaming outlet on the Citadel.
Thank you. I got that reference. Great reference. I make it a point to play DLC because oftentimes it's really excellent. You know, I'm thinking of Dishonored, or I'm thinking of Evil Within. You know, I love story DLC, but to the question, if I don't get to it in that little window of like when it comes out,
Sure.
if I don't get to it within like that first month, like chances are I'm not going to get to it.
Yeah.
Because then it's like there's been so much distance. It's like, well, if I go back, should I like play the main game again or just dive into the DLC? Like I do feel that kind of disconnect if I wait too long, for sure. So, I try to be, you know, really vigilant about it and like get to it straight away.
There's
Like Spider-Man DLC, dude, City That Never Sleeps and shit.
Yeah, there are some long waits for some of them. And yeah, Kingdom Hearts was 3 for me. Like that DLC came out a year later.
Remind.
And
$40.
Yeah, I was just like, I felt I had that
Your
complete experience with the original one or the original release, and I was when they announced the DLC, I'm like, all right, it's not like a whatever. It should be under like maybe a few months. Nope, not like a year. And I was just like, shit, that's too long. I've moved on from 3. 4, like I'm more interested in 4. Like I was like, give me a new one. I don't want DLC. But obviously,
mine's weird.
People enjoyed it. Obviously, you know.
Yo Zora.
Yeah, you got some like interesting stuff in there.
Yo Zora hype.
What I thought was interesting is they had said, especially if the DLC is disconnected from said story. To me, that actually makes it a little bit more appealing.
Yeah.
Like when you have a completely new chapter of something, I don't like it when they're like, oh yeah, this also happened. Like, you know, at some point before you finish the game.
Yeah.
Like, that makes things weird.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that's, like, we've talked about Deus Ex DLC
The missing
a few
link
times.
is
Like, that's
so lame.
like, no.
So lame.
No, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas something like the Witcher ones is like, yeah, here's just another Witcher story.
The best DLC ever made in the history of DLC, Blood and Wine and Hearts of Stone. Yes.
Yeah. If you want to, you can just hop into those.
Yeah.
They let you do that. Like, don't even have to finish the main game.
Yeah. Yeah, I love DLC. Arkham Knight had the Matter of Family one.
Yeah.
WB Montreal worked on with like the prequel. You were like Batgirl and Robin. So cool. I like when DLC takes swings too. They like do weird mechanics or like, I like that. Like, get weird with it. Mm-hmm. Take a chance.
Yeah. I do feel like the getting back into the game is just, it's something that always feels more intimidating than it actually is.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of the times when you get into those DLC and it's like you have like an hour where like, what's what and what am I doing in this? And then you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the game though, too. I have
definitely.
a great example of one that I missed because it's like, it's an easy game, but it's like not easy to jump back into. And I always wanted to play them, but I never did. Final Fantasy 15.
Oh,
Play those, dude.
Well, also that thing got botched with like they had to cancel some of them. But like, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Also, from my perspective, a lot of that stuff was supposed to be in the game to begin with. It felt like incomplete, but like now where it's at, it definitely
Royal Edition.
Yeah, that was a different story. So that one was like a little harder for me to get into. I was like, really? You're going to make me do this?
Yeah.
Forget it.
Made sure to make time for another one of the best DLCs lately, Ancient Gods, dude. Doom Eternal. Don't skip.
Nice.
But that's another thing where it's like, dude, if you've been away from Doom and you jump into Ancient Gods, like, good luck.
Yeah.
So difficult. So yeah, it definitely depends on the game. Some games are a lot easier to just dive back into.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I definitely get it though, because like there are ones that it's like, oh
Yeah.
I'll play that, and then I just didn't, like the Breath of the Wild champion stuff.
I never did that.
Yeah.
I never did that.
Yeah, I mean, I only did it because it was like Zelda, but like I only thought one part of it was really worthwhile in the end. Yeah.
Yeah. But that Mass Effect 2 Shadow Broker, get on that.
Yeah, Shadow Broker.
I know it's a little harder now that you've seen the full story play out, but Shadow Broker is really good.
Dude, Blood, yes. I did Legendary Edition when it came out, all 3 of those, and that was the best playthrough, man. That Legendary Edition, so good. Just that whole package right there.
It's time for bets. This week's bet, the Final Fantasy VII is somewhere. People will find it.
Yeah, I got it.
That Final Fantasy VII Midgar Special Pack comes to Power Wash Simulator next week.
So jolly.
I asked, what will the word count be for the first message or email that comes in from a Final Fantasy character? So yeah, that's how the story gets delivered in this game, is through the text messages and job orders and stuff. So the word count on that first message, Michael Huber.
47.
Oh.
47 seconds? Or 47 words, so I might say 6 seconds. I'm used to too many time bets. That's good. Damiani.
I went high, 150, baby.
150.
Paragraph, or essay, sorry. More than paragraph.
Don.
I went 39.
39.
But is it displayed? I guess we'll figure this out later. Is it displayed? What if it's part of the same message that's displayed on a series of screens? It wouldn't do that. You're talking.
I don't think it would do.
Okay,
like, it's not an Elder Scrolls book.
Okay. Well, I don't know how small the window is that displays text in these.
But I mean, I think it'd be pretty clear You know, it'll be either like a bubble or it'll be like, here's the header and thank you, my name at the bottom, you know, kind of thing. I think there'll be a clear start and stop.
This is exciting.
And then I bet 31. So I got the low this time around. Last week's bet, PlayStation VR 2 came out this week, and so did that VR mode for Resident Evil Village.
I'd like to play that.
Last night, I went to the official Resident Evil Twitter account and looked for the most recent video tweet for that VR mode. And last week, I had asked the panel how long it would take before we saw Lady D. Brad bet 3 seconds. Huber bet 6 seconds. Damiani bet 5 seconds. Isla bet 12 seconds. I also bet 12 seconds. This is actually a pretty lengthy trailer for a Twitter trailer. We're seeing that like Twitter, like they don't care. They're just gonna put up their full-length trailers.
2.5 minutes, doesn't even matter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lady D does not show up until 38 seconds in. It's actually Heisenberg's scene, but she's standing back there. So, very clear.
Kept you waiting.
Very obviously her. If you wanted to find a scene where she's actually the focus and she's talking to you in first person, 1 minute and 34 seconds.
Wow. I waited a while.
Way out there.
Will Lady D be playable in Remake 4 Mercenaries mode, yes or no?
No. They're gonna... But some of those other guys that haven't been.
Okay.
That's a thought.
All right.
The other boss characters and stuff.
Okay. I think yes.
So yeah, so Isla and I got the high on that one, the high being 12 seconds. I'm not gonna double those points. It's team versus team. That's kind of how I'm gonna go look at it. I from people were saying that there were times where people doubled points before. I can remember times when both teams got a point.
Yeah.
I don't really remember the doubling, but I think it makes sense for it to just be like, okay, this team got it versus that team got it.
Got it.
Also, our team is crazy ahead.
Yeah.
This brings the scores to Garrulous Ducks 6. Quack, 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 quack. And Sleepy Grizzlies 1. Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. Everything that we do is funded by the people that watch it. So thank you to everybody who contributes, whether you do that on Twitch or whether you use that little PayPal link in there below the video player. But the most effective way to support us is at patreon.com/easyallies. There's all kinds of different fun rewards there. We've got some higher end things there where you can get some small business advertising slots and things like that on there. There are these personal message availability. We'll read something out there if you want. We've got Brandon Jones reading Golden Voices for people. Going through, speaking of those books in some of those games, Bradley Spees every month. Guild Wars 2 books.
Hell yeah.
That Jones is reading.
Hell yeah.
It's good times. If you become a patron at any level, you get an ad-free version of this podcast with 2 extra love and respect questions. And if you go up to that $5 here, you get early access. You get extended cuts of some of our shows. You get to submit to Love and Respect and to our other podcasts. And you also get to get in that Discord and check out things. You've just been posting some things in there. We chat.
Vacation.
Yeah, we chat about the news. People chat about F1. People chat about anime soundtracks. Just all kinds of different channels and ways to participate. And yeah, so get in on that. And thank you to everybody who supports us. And if you've got a bigger advertising deal that you're interested in, get in touch. Isla's working on that stuff. And we are welcome to more ads right now.
Don't get Mexican food tonight. It's decided.
And then on our higher level Patreon tiers, they also get shout outs on our podcast. And this month's shout outs go to Javawabs, El Thanis, Greg, The Dark Knight Kettering, Raymond Wheeler III, and Zio VGM. Shout out. I won that bet, so I get to promote any Easy Eyes video I'd like to promote. I get the final word on anything I've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped in my head. And I get to sign off with my trademark sign off. Video is a little bit back, but for Valentine's Day, that game Blanc came out. I did a review of that little thing.
Nice.
It was a fun one. Played through on a Sunday with my wife, and it was like, oh, we're done. Cool.
Sick.
Yeah, it was just a couple hours long, and then wrote up the review and had plenty of time for that to get cut and be ready for launch. It's a nice, cute little game. And then final words. Nothing really bugging me. I guess, I'll just say that, like, for all the skepticism on Suicide Squad, still potential there. Still seems like it could be a good story there. Just hopefully it'll be a place that feels worth exploring in all of the bang, bang, boom, boom. And we'll see you before the next Blood Moon Rises.
Sophie.
The Easy Allies would like to thank our Patreon podcast producers. We apologize in advance for all the ally names we are about to misspell and mispronounce. Jabawabs, El Thanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Raymond Wheeler III, Zio VGM, Alexander Zirianov, Stomps, Bradley Spees, Jay Shee, Jesper Popmel Dufay, Mellow Fellow, Rob Bob Will, Roy Sung. 44 Stars, Anacroth, Andreas Risberg, Andri, Aurelien Grenier, Beaten Down Brian, Benjamin Arp, Brandon White, Brian Kruger, Colton Piccione, Daniel Martinek, Danny Vlar, Dave Red, DBA, Dimitri Zetas, Discarded Digit, Douglas Chomich, DRD 7 of 14, Edward Gonzalez, Faraz Rizvi, Garrett Holfish, G. Levin, Hayden Hargraves, Happy Gaming, Hesperus 84, Isaac Swanson, Jesse Blue, Jesus R., Joey Bruno, Chris Frederick, Kroldemort, Lath, Mango, Matthew Holcomb, Matthew Pauling, Miguel Rivas, Mo Grant, Mr. One Luigi, Nathan Watkins, Paul Stevenson, Paul Sway, Pete Shoemaker, Ronka Q, Raylon, Richard Tappan, Ritz 1906, Robert Stoffel, Sage Mode Q, Sam Handrick, Sigma, S-Snake 24, Stepan Hakobian, T-Beaks 15, The Banana Forklift Killer, Chum Nguyen, Zigazich, Anish Dor, Aaron Haney, Accounts Payable, Adam Henry, Alex McMillan, Alex Monaco, Alex AI, Alexander Irving, Alexander Sheck, Anthony Galvin, Antonio Coyne, Arthur Lau, Barry Tomasini, Blue, Bob Starling, Brian Foster, Bryce Hornsby, Bunny Chen, C.S. Lewis, Katie Garza, Candy Coated Thorns, Chief Uhu, Christian Simniak, Christopher Santis, Clay Roberts, Colin Montaut, Corey Jackson, Corey Landega, Crumb Eyes, Culinary Stud, Cyberboa, Dan Sebring, Daniel Wong, David Aniki, David Wilson, Delisi, DF, Edison S. Prada Jr., Eric Tobias, Espen Gotchman, Ethereal Ether, Fishflop, Forever Ender, Forrest, Gabriel Aberg, Gabriel Smith, Glenn Olson, Graham, Gustav Strombaum, Hadi Ali, Helen Y, Hitman 47, Isun Chor, Ian Anderson, Ivan Swade, Jack Cullen, Jack Forrest, Jay Aldiar, Jameson Lapine, Jan Nicholas Frogshirt Tilk, JC3, Gerald, Jeremy Ferris, Jesse Fish, Jesse Wilkeson, Joey Din, John Gallagher, John McCullough, Jonathan Gonzalez, Jordan Phillips, Jose Gutierrez, Julius Garcia, Junya Motomura, Carl Williams, Kevin Gillet, Leon Keys, Linson Wu, Luis Ibarra, Lion Crown 19, Marco Hernandez, Materia Addict, Matthias Clare, Matt Karwoski, Matthew T. Ryan, Mazrim Tame, Megadet, Michael Clendenan, Mike Zero, Mikey Mizek Novak, Mr. Anarchy, Mr. Matity, Nefertiti Jenkins, Nicholas Johnson, Nycrypt, Ninja Kitty Meow, Orugachino, Pablo Rodriguez, Patrick Held, Pojo TMC, RF Switch, Reed Johnson, Richard Ma, Salvers, Sam Sorensen, Samuel Copeland, Sean Eisenhower, Sean Pavlov, Sebastian Trier, Shauna Bowman, Simon Anderson, Sneaky Gato, Splontot, Strikeout NZ, Sultab, Taffy 9K, Tim Strothman, Tim O'Keefe, TJ Sullivan, Toad Shadow, Tokyo Slim, Travis Ing, Trevor Thomas, Trizac, V8 Dave, Willow Pingree, Wouter DeHaze, Zach Hardy, Zach Wojnar.